the stream?
I wonder who could it be?
It's always you! Let me know when we are officially, when YouTube registers us as being live.
Speaking of that, we are alive.
We are live, good. Welcome, everyone. There's no one here. That's okay. Welcome, everyone. I'll do the intro. Nobody's watching the stream currently, but I'll do the intro now for people watching the video upload. Welcome to another live stream. If you couldn't recognize by my voice, I'm back. Today is the final day of Tutor Reviews Tie Guest Host Week. I still have one last video to post, which is Fan of Thomas 31's addition to our fine collection of videos. But I thought it would be cool to sort of celebrate at the end of the week and do a live stream getting some of the people who made videos for Guest Host Week to sort of guest host the live stream. Currently, I'm here with Rashid Reviews. He's on my live streams quite often. He is here currently. We'll have a few other people sort of popping in and out for the next few hours. This is going to be a pretty long stream, so hang tight. No, Robin will probably join us later on. I know Cars Ignite will join us in 2 hours, but he will join us. The Piston 11 might be able to join us. Marina, unfortunately, and Fan of Thomas 31 are not going to be able to make it, but shout out to them for making two of the best videos that have ever been posted to my channel. Nobody's seen Fan of Thomas 31's video yet, but if you've watched any of his stuff, it's good, it's solid, it's funny, and the video he made, which will be my upload for tonight, is insanely good. Maybe that's why he has 100,000 more subscribers than me.
So, yeah, I saw his community post about it. He's using like weird Lightning McQueen animator plastic toys, I presume.
Oh, it's funny. He has a very interesting selection of Cars items. And also NCAP Cars has not actually not gotten back to me yet, so I assume he probably won't be able to make it, but if he gets back to me and he is able to make it, then hopefully he could join on the call as well. But for right now, it's me and Rashid, me and the boy. It's just the two of us, and that's perfectly fine. We do live streams together all the time, and I really appreciate everyone for getting back to me regarding this. And I feel really bad for trying to organize this on a Monday morning. I should have done this yesterday, but you know, I was bored today, and I'm back in school, so my classes today end at like 11 in the morning. So I got a long day. And since I'm not making any videos today because it's still guest host week, so I thought we could do this.
So we're gonna be talking about this stream.
And we're gonna be going on for hours. I was thinking we could possibly divide it into segments, do some different stuff, kind of like the Cars 4 stream from a while back where we did several different things. This is just the background. We're not opening these. These are my next reviews, okay? This is to everyone in the chat, because I always get one person saying, hey, are we opening these? No, we're not, but maybe this. My Cars 3 McQueen color changer was absolutely, absolutely wrecked after a video I did a few years back called Extreme Color Changing. It absolutely just wrecked the paint and the decals. And last year I repainted it and I shipped it off to Robin. So he has my color changer McQueen now. You actually can see it in the background of his review he posted for Guest Host Week. So that's pretty cool. I made it into a tie custom with some of Robin's logos, very similar to the custom he reviewed, actually. So we might open this on the stream, since this is an item I already owned, I already reviewed. I just had to get a replacement for it. Something I thought could be really funny is I want to change the color in the box. And I know that's stupid, but I'm not doing anything with this, and I already own it, so you may as well just, sort of wreck the box, right? I want to dip it in ice water. We'll see if I do that on this stream or if I check it out. But again, everything else here is set dressing, so... Anyway, good sir, Mr. Reviews, how are you on this fine morning?
It's nighttime for me, but
It is.
I'm doing not doing well?
I forgot it's 9 o'clock at night where you are. See, that's the benefit of time zones. It's 1:30 where I am.
Where I am. So. It's Cars Likes Ninjago.
There he is. He says he's getting dating advice. How, I
bet it's from MC.
I'm afraid to ask any follow-up questions.
Don't ask questions you're not ready to get the answers to, or whatever Mrs. Puff says in Battle for Bikini Bottom.
That was a real deep cut, man. Putting Quick Changer's Nigel Gearsley on my set here was the worst mistake I could possibly make, because the entire time I'm just gonna be doing this.
I know. It's like a nervous tick. I have the Crash Damage McQueen, and I used to do that when I first got him all the time. I would just change him back, change him back. Now he's in my closet.
So that you can't touch him, so that you can't get to him, and we're gonna make like a. Thank you, Tammy Whitson, for.
From the Quick Changers.
Thank you, Tammy Whitson, for getting the fact that I was playing We Will Rock You on Quick Changers Nigel Gearsley.
Man, I didn't know Quick Changers were musical instruments.
If this isn't motion blur on him, I don't know what it is. I got one comment, I think from 95%, who said his mascara is running. Said if you ever do a Cars Adventures episode where Nigel Gearsley starts crying, make sure you switch to that version because his makeup is running.
It looks like his windshield just gave up, and like just the bottom part of his windshield.
It looks like somebody took a Sharpie to it. Like, it looks not like.
I think what they were trying to do there is kind of add smoke on the eyes, but it just did not work. Like a smoke effect, as if he was crashing.
Oh, but then why? It's strange.
Oh, hey, it's Fan of Thomas 31. Can't wait to see our Cars in a Nutshell.
Welcome, Fan of Thomas 31, who is not on the call, but he's also a part of Guest Host Week. Thank you for joining us in the chat. He's not even in the group chat. I feel kind of bad. I could add you in the group chat if you want me to. I don't know if you could do much. You're eating lunch. Have a good lunch. My favorite running trend in my live streams is people having their lunch. I think it was a few streams back where Marcus Lafrano was just eating a sandwich on stream. Robin isn't here currently because I'm pretty sure he's having dinner. I love the concept of people just, I love the concept of people just eating during my streams. I think that's funny.
I don't recall a time where I ate while watching your stream, but I hope that happens soon. I want to join the group.
Robin says, he just messaged me. He said he'll probably join at some point. Sure, okay, Fan of Thomas. See, I am awful at using Discord, and thus I don't even know how to add you. I'm so good at this, man. I've run a Discord server for over a year now, and I don't know how to add people to a group chat.
I mean, I can walk you through it.
That's embarrassing. You know that?
Never be ashamed to ask for help.
It's
like Caillou levels of morals here.
I am very ashamed to ask for help right now. Okay? I have it as a group DM. How do I add more people? Invites. No invites yet. Yeah, I know. Add friends to DM. There we go. I am the smartest man on the planet. Okay. I've added fan of Thomas 31. You don't have to join the call if you don't want to, but he is in fact now in our wonderful group chat comprised of 6 people. Dang, 18 people just 18 people just watched me not know how to use one of the most commonly used messaging apps just ever.
Oh no, Phantom Thomas 31 was blinking.
He blinked out of
now
existence.
he's-
Goodbye, Phantom Thomas 31. Now Robin is writing a message in the chat. Thank you, Robin. Robin messaged me a few minutes ago. He said he'll probably join at some point later.
Yeah, everyone heard that.
Oh, okay.
That blasted in my ears.
I'm okay. Okay. Robin's taking a test currently. Okay, thank you, Robin. See, guys, I am the world's greatest event coordinator. Okay, I'm so good at this. I organized an entire week of other people making videos for me. I'm a genius.
If there were an award show for being the best organizer, you'd win it. I'm confident every year.
Have you seen my shelves? I don't know. I don't know if that's very truthful.
I think we should start talking about things now and stop mentioning Discord.
We are not on Discord. If anybody asks, we're using Skype.
No, we're using Zoom.
We're on Zoom. We are on a giant Zoom call right now. When will I do the collection video? Good question. Thanks for changing the subject away from I don't know how to use the most common messaging app. I want to get it done soon. I've said this a bunch of times now, but I've got a shelf I have to finish building to put the rest of my racers on because I ran out of space on my racer shelf 2 years ago. Skype, I don't see any lag. Fair point. So that's once that shelf is done, because I've spent the past few months reorganizing all my collection. I have a few more steps. I have to move a bunch of cars into my closet. I consider just laying them out like on the floor somewhere for the cars I haven't moved yet. But part of what I like about a collection video is showing how the collection is stored, and me just throwing all the cars that go somewhere else on the floor of my living room doesn't show you how I store my collection. I think that's always one of the coolest parts of doing a collection video.
Man, I am just sometimes I get jealous of other people's collection, but I just get reminded that I have like 150 cards and I'm already struggling with space. How about other people who have like thousands?
Have you ever considered doing a collection video? I don't think you have one.
No, I don't. But I think in like maybe like 2-3 years from now.
Yeah, because
It's not really a priority at the moment.
Yeah, I haven't done one in 3 years. That's crazy. Almost 3 years.
If I were to make a collection video, it wouldn't just be going through the shelves. I'd bring out every single car and like talk about them briefly, where they're made, and which variant it is, and if I customize them or not.
You just get that's why
each saying, this is Lightning McQueen. This is Lightning McQueen with tar. You know.
That's why I like doing them the way I've done them. The way I did my last one, and the way I had Robin do his collection video, and the Piston 11 do his collection video that he uploaded to my channel this week. most cars YouTubers just show their collections and play music, and that's what I used to do. But I like at least saying what each car is so that you know. And especially since I have so many customs, I think that's a part of it too. I like being able to at least say like this is this car, this is this and this and this. I love your concept. I would love to do that. My one problem is I have 1,000 cars now, and that's a lot. And as much as I, excuse me, as much as I would love to do that, and that really like hits my niche of really stupidly, pointlessly long YouTube videos. Um, I don't really know how well that would go for me. Like that would be a stupidly long video. I actually used to have a series called In-Depth Collection where I tried to go through my collection in a more in-depth way, but they were still just on their shelves. I'd have to move every single car individually off and move it back. I guess my quick look series that I do on in YouTube Shorts is basically the closest thing I have to what you're talking about. Sort of give like a brief overview of each item one by one.
Yeah, I get why you don't want to do my idea. Again, you have like 1,000 cards. I think it's perfect for me because I have like 150 cards. Last time I counted was like, I believe when I first moved to my new home. I got a few diecasts by then. I need to recount soon. So yeah.
The biggest problem for me is just the fact that the video would be crazy long, but I'd love to do that. What's the last thing you got? I think you put it on your
The
community
last
tab.
thing, well, I've got a package on the way. Does that count?
Can you leak to the wonderful audience of my channel what you've purchased?
Well, as she's now called, Rusty's Dynaco Cruz Ramirez.
So Racing Center Cruise.
Yeah. I hate how it changed her name.
We don't need to.
It's so funky.
We don't need to get into that now. I don't feel like ranting.
I'm the best at switching situations and conversations into a full-on rant.
I can tell. I've spoken with you for several hours. Got him. Is that it? That's it? Or did you order some other stuff?
No, I only like order one car at a time.
Oh, okay.
I'm not crazy rich. Look, cars retail for $13 each over here. Okay, it's not easy.
But what was the last thing you bought beforehand, like that you tangibly have now?
Well, from when my parents went on vacation again, they brought me Pat Jackson and Bill.
Good old Bill. They returned to the Peppa Pig toy store, right?
Yeah, the Peppa Kids. Man.
For those of you who don't know, would you like to explain it? He talked about this on one of his live streams. I will gladly let you explain this to my audience.
So basically, when my parents went on vacation like a month ago, they stumbled upon a store called Peppa Kids. And they were like one of the only stores in my entire area, even in different countries that are close to my own, that sell Mattel 155 scale Disney cars. And so, yeah, we've got 2 holes by them now because they're literally the only way I could get diecasts that is not online. So,
Well, you gotta explain the Peppa Kids part.
yeah, for some reason, their store logo is just a ripoff of the Peppa Pig logo, just replacing it with kids. That is just a lawsuit waiting to happen.
It is exactly that. It is exactly. He showed it on a live stream. You guys gotta go over to Rashid's channel and find.
Go check out my channel.
Go
Like
to
the
his.
video, and subscribe and comment.
Do all of those things. Find his live stream where he's unboxing cars, and fast forward to the part where he shows the Peppa Kids bag. It is literally just the Peppa Pig logo. It's amazing, and I love it.
I gotta admit, I love it too, very much.
It's such a shameless. It's such a shameless ripoff. It's insane. I'd say like that wouldn't be legal here, but it totally would be. I could totally see a toy store where I live doing something like that. There are a bunch of like vape shops by me that are called Darth Vapor.
Oh my god.
Ty's location gets pinpointed because he named a smoke shop by a Walmart he goes to.
Darth Vapor. Oh my god. This is even better than Fatty Vape.
Well, that was a typo. This is somebody who genuinely made that fun. And there are like 2 or 3 of them. It's a chain. It's a chain of vape stores. Now, I don't.
It's gonna be even a bigger chain than McDonald's. You're gonna just walk out the house, see a few Darth Vapors here and there.
I don't even. I don't like. I don't vape. I don't. But like occasionally I forget where they are. But I think there are a ton like that. Yeah, glad to see the lights out and diecast. Yeah, she's supposed to be translucent, which is very interesting. I can barely tell that. I watched NCAP Cars review on her, and I don't typically watch reviews on items I don't own, but I just wanted to see like the translucentness, and it's interesting. It's not transparent. Transparent would be fully clear. It's translucent, so it's like partially clear. I'm excited though. I don't know which one I'll review first. I want to review President Mater the most, but
no, review Sarge.
I feel so bad for
the
this
most
Sarge.
exciting one of the way.
He barely changes, and it's honestly disappointing. It's genuine.
Regarding your question, Jordan C., the most amount of information I'm gonna give is that I live in Saudi Arabia. That's it. I'm not gonna name the city or the street or anything. I don't want to get mugged.
Jordan C. will specifically track you down.
Oh my god, Jordan C., please do not steal my Tamika diecast.
I'm so happy that I got President Mater, because one of the next Cars Adventures episodes is like a mayoral debate between Mater and Valerie V8. And so I'm so glad I got President Mater just in time. I was concerned I wouldn't. And I just so happened to get him just in time to make that episode. It's not the next episode, it's the episode after. Next Cars Adventures will be... I'm not going to review any of these until Wednesday. My first like video fully back is going to be, I think, on my thoughts on the cars that were recently revealed. Then I'll do a Cars Adventures later tomorrow. Then I'll start reviewing these on Wednesday. I'll put up a poll. But like, guys, please make sure President Mater wins, because I want to use him in the next Cars Adventures, which is coming out on Thursday.
Guys, make sure Sarge wins, please, for me.
Rig the election. And make Mater win.
I'm gonna create 7 alt accounts and vote for Sarge.
That won't do anything. My polls get like 200 votes now. It's kind of crazy.
Well, then I'm gonna create 200. So yeah, can't wait for all these color changes to basically be irrelevant when diecast comes out.
Dude, did you see the
ankle is already irrelevant.
The Rumbler McQueen diecast is so good.
The color changer is obsolete now.
It was always...
The parts weren't painted nowhere near as detailed.
It has dirt detailing too.
I hate Mattel's marketing strategy with cars on the road. Releasing color changes I'm not gonna fall for that. The only time I can really say I fell for that is for Racing Center Cruise, and I bought her because I thought she was more accurate. But then the show came out, and I was like, no, she's Mattel.
I don't think they're deliberately like, we'll make the color changers first so people buy those and spend more money. I don't think it's that. I think it's just simply they're doing different releases for color changers than they are for the regular diecasts. It's as simple as that. Because would you rather have it be...
But what I don't get is... Well, I get why. This is the first time they released them, but it kind of just feels scummy where people are paying attention to the color changers now because it's new releases.
Would you rather have it be the other way, though? Here's the thing, because with the color changers before, they can make anything from any past year. With On the Road, would you rather just be getting, like, all the die casts that like Revo Cost and Datch Jammin and stuff, and they get the color changers immediately after, I think then it would be less exciting. I think it's kind of a double-edged sword.
Then don't focus on Cards on the Road alone.
Well, they
Cards on the
didn't.
Road is like
They didn't. They made Sarge.
it's like it's gonna be obscure in like a few years. No
It
one will
already,
remember.
dude, it already is. They made Sarge, so.
They made Sarge. Name anyone new that isn't from Cars on the Road that came out as a color changer in like 2022
They had
before Cars on the Road's release.
They had a wave or two of color changers in 2022 beforehand.
Then that's it.
Let me check my color changer playlist. So I've reviewed every one that's been new.
You have like 1,000 playlists. I don't know. When I'm looking for a specific series that's not as popular, I'm just scrolling for hours trying to find it, especially when it's older. Man, you have some
Sally.
playlists that are the same. Like I recall basically the same concept repeated twice. You gotta go back and delete some of your playlists, man.
I do have to clean up my playlist. Sorry. Intro Ramon and Sally were the first wave of color changers for 2022.
And that is it.
I believe so. He is with me. We're gonna have some other people joining later on in the stream. Since this is still my guest host week, I thought it'd be fun to have some other people on the stream.
I'm the only one currently available.
He's the only one currently. Robin will probably join us in a little bit. Yeah, I have a lot of playlists, and I'm sorry. I am. But, like, no, I'm not. I'm not sorry. Okay, you gotta stay organized.
But you don't have to make a playlist for, like, a series that only has one video.
That's not the intention. No, he's not physically there with me. Unless...
Yeah, fun, a little known fact, for every single live stream, I just book an airplane all the way to the United States and just chill with Ty for like an hour or two and just go back.
So, like, if you look at my... Like, I made a playlist for quick changer reviews, right? And that's only one video because I've only reviewed the Nigel. I do them as future-proofing. When I have a playlist that only has like one video in it, I do it as future-proofing in case I get more in the future.
But it never becomes a full series.
Well, there's a difference between reviews. You know, the reviews I think you can excuse because if I buy more of that item, then you have more in that playlist. But I have I'm just scrolling through my playlists. I have one that's called Taking a Look At, which is just one video, and it's my review of the magazine. I meant to put my McQueen and the new car video in there too. I've wanted to do more videos like that for a long time where I'm just sort of casually reacting to things. Like this week or next week, I've had this idea for the past few days. I really want to do a video reading Cars fan fiction.
Oh no. He's gonna make what was the website's name? I forgot. He's gonna make a Wattpad account. Please do not include any shipping stuff in there. That would be very cursed.
I might.
Please add like only stuff that slightly expands on the universe with like a bunch of OCs, but no relationship stuff.
I want
to see the 1 millionth ship of Cruise X Jackson.
But that's part of the fun of it. I'm not looking for shipping relationship stuff. I'm not. I'm looking for just Cars fan fiction, and maybe we'll find a hidden gem. Maybe we'll find something that's not bad. But I'm going into this thinking I want to read this and I want to tear it apart. No offense to whoever wrote it. You will never find me. Ha 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 ha.
Man, I can't wait for the fan fiction about Mater X Sheriff from that one short.
Will I ever continue Cars Randomness Movie Edition? Do you remember Cars Randomness Movie Edition?
You made 2, I think.
Yeah. Cars Randomness Movie Edition was a series I did where I took Cars movie clips and I mashed them up with different movie clips or songs or other things. I considered doing a part 3 at one point, and I did really like them, but I couldn't come up with anything for a part 3. Now that On the Road is out.
Please make a video game randomness next.
No, I think if anything, I should do a. I should do a one using footage from On the Road. We should. I need to replace like the audios of trucks with some different song.
Oh, Lizzie X dead.
Someone in the chat
Oh, no.
says, "Wait, you haven't found President Mater, have you?" Yeah, I have. He's just. Oh, you can't see him. He's right there. I thought he was out of frame, but he's literally being colored by McQueen. So yes,
He
I
has
have.
been vanished to the shadow well. Never be seen again.
Yo, it's Robin.
It's Robin.
Whoa,
Oh,
it's Robin.
What's up, Robin?
What a crossover.
what?
This is like Avengers Endgame, guys. Even better.
We were just talking about how I really want to make a video where I read Cars fan fiction.
Oh, well, I know a good fan fiction story. Let's just say that.
See, because like there's got to be when you think fan fiction, you think like weird like relationship stuff. I don't want that. Like there's got to be something good out there, right? I'm sure there's someone out there must have a good story.
Yeah, but you gotta just go through the sludge that exists on the internet to get to it.
Oh, well, I know a good place where you can find some good stories.
If you tell me to go to
Literally called-
Wattpad.
It's literally called fanfiction.net.
Yeah. And I mean the thing is like obviously I'm sure you could put in filters and tags and stuff. I want to find something. I want to be pleasantly surprised. Cuz not all fanfic is bad. We're not looking at like One Direction fanfic, you know. We're looking at Disney cars.
I think I know a good story. I'll send you a link soon.
It's
not a finished story, but because the author never finished it, but it's, in my opinion, a pretty good one.
I'd love to try to find, I'm going to have to do some tracking down. I'd love to find like a Cars like AU or something, like an alternate universe. There was like there's always like a post-apocalyptic fanfic out there, and if there's not, I will make it. Robin planned a post-apocalyptic Cars series at one point, I believe, right?
A movie.
Oh,
And
right, okay.
I actually started making a written version of it, but I haven't continued on it in like a month.
I mean, if you finish, because I know you said you wanted to do text versions of your Cars Universe series. If you do that, I will gladly read it on stream. Robin has just sent over the thing. We can read it. Honestly, we could read it now.
Yeah,
Let's not.
Is it too long? I don't want to.
It is quite big chapters and at least 22.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, I'm not doing the whole thing.
Well, I want like a broad idea of it, of what it's all about,
Should I just say what it's about, because I've read the whole thing. It's on.
I was gonna read the. Oh my gosh! It's from 2000. Oh, 2019. I thought it said 2009.
The last 2019 is the last time it was updated, because it has been updated over time.
Okay.
But I can give you kind of a summary, a bit more than what's said at the beginning thing.
Yeah, sure.
It's basically about Chick Hicks, and he's having like a terror. His sponsor told him to stay back after the season finale of the Cars movie. You know what happened there?
Yeah.
And then he's having to hold back, and then Lightning is still being kind of arrogant, and then and Chick basically becomes sort of depressed from the fact that he's not racing at the front because he's not allowed to by his sponsor. And then he and Lightning get kind of a problem. Lightning is still kind of well, he's better than he was in the first movie, but not completely.
Mm-hmm.
And then they get at some point get into the problems after a race, and then from there basically all of the drama unfolds because like Chick has to go to the hospital after he had has a big crash in the following race, and maybe it wasn't even that race, I'm not sure, but he has a big crash and Lightning is not allowed to race, and then Chick Hicks does some stuff that he's angry and then he goes driving while he shouldn't be driving, and then he gets hurt, and then it's a big mess in the end, but it's really well written.
Good. See that.
Also, there's also a whole subplot about Sheriff trying to find some mysterious rider because otherwise Doc might fire him from being police officer, and also the reader knows this, but Sheriff doesn't. Is that the one that he's searching for is Chick Hicks?
That's good. I like that.
My main problem with it is that sometimes they don't use the correct. They use like other names for Doc, like because Doc is not really a normal name, and and then they use them by like Paul and other name that I'm not sure what they use for Sheriff, but I'm not really a fan of that. But it's pretty good. Unfortunately, it's never finished because it's really left it off on a cliffhanger.
I like
so
that.
That sounds insane.
It is pretty crazy, but it's not the shipping fan fiction type of deal.
It sounds.
Yeah, it's not that kind of insane. It's kind of the good kind of insane.
If you want to compare it does kind of go more in the direction of Cars Adventures, yeah.
It sounds grounded, like it sounds like, to an extent, this is something you could actually see happen in the Cars series realistically. And
I would say that it could happen. There's one entire chapter dedicated to Sally's backstory, which doesn't really fit in my opinion. But other than that, it's pretty good. It also explains backstories, etc. It's really well written.
Yeah, I'll check that out. Yeah, no, anything is more grounded than Cars Adventures at this point.
True, but it does with some things it kind of goes in a direction where you could see Cars Adventures go in that direction as well, but not entirely.
I said earlier before you joined, I'm very happy I got President Mater in time before he finishes his mayor campaign in Cars Adventures. The next episode.
I know you told me about that. You hoped that you would find it in time, and you did.
This is the next Radiator Springs episode. The next episode is called The Moon is more grounded than Cars Adventures. The next episode is the next Salt Flats episode, and it's like the second to last one. We're obviously getting to the end of the season. The episode after that is going to be like a debate between Valerie and Mater, and I wanted President Mater in time for that because it's going to be like a fake presidential debate where they're just sort of going to be throwing insults at each other. I had this whole scene planned in the attack ad episode, which I then pushed into this debate one, where Valerie was going to bring up like the whole Aiden situation and be like, the cars in this town care about it so little, they allowed a criminal to take it over, and Mater's going to have to be like, no, we were forced out.
No, he wouldn't have to do that. He would tell her, what would you do in this situation then?
Exactly. What would she do? That's a good like test of her character.
Yeah, she would probably like. I'm not sure if she would say this during a debate, but she would probably, as soon as a criminal detect, as soon as there's no profits to be made, she would turn around and run away. I
think she would abandon the town. I've gotten really positive reception just like in the comments and from people with Valerie, and I like that. And it's nice, not every antagonist needs to be pew pew, I'm gonna blow up Flo's V8 Cafe. Valerie is like a grounded antagonist, and I think she's perfect for what I want Cars Adventures to be right now, which is just something that feels more like it could happen in the Cars series.
Yeah. Exactly. That's great and all.
Works.
But when are we gonna see Mater and Colin Borev go to Antarctica? I want to see that, please.
That's the episode we made on chat on stream. That was supposed to happen earlier on in the season, but I felt like it would disrupt the story too much. I'm gonna release it after the season as like a special bonus episode. I think that's the best thing to do with those.
Oh man, we're getting the DVD bonus features.
No, you're just getting that. No other bonuses.
Would be fun. Imagine if Cars Adventures actually released on DVD.
Someone in the chat asks, is Cars Adventures canceled? No, I made one last week, and it was one of the last episodes I made. One of the last videos I made before I went on break. Cars Adventures has gone on hiatus for 6 months before. 1 week is nothing.
Well, if one series has ended, then yeah, it's not Cars Universe. Cars Adventures. I mean, sorry, Cars Universe has ended.
That's the Cars Adventures is the one series on my channel that hasn't just suddenly been like snapped out of existence. Oh man, no Hey Cal 2 deleted scenes. I wish if I had the footage for Hey Cal 2 still, I would have posted it in my canceled videos special from a few years ago.
Yeah, and to think, Hey Cal, even though it was cancelled, it's still canon to Cars Adventures.
There is an early Cars Adventures episode where the events of Hey Cal 2 are mentioned.
Reference, yeah, it's in season
But then
7,
that
the
doesn't
first
make sense
dash.
because it was never released.
No, but the Hey Cal series took place. The first Hey Cal was in. They take place in like 2008, 2009, so it's fine.
Before Cars 2.
The third Hey Cal was actually going to take place either at the same time as Cars 2 or a little after. It was going to go over why Cal wasn't in the World Grand Prix, something like that. He was going to be invited and he couldn't make it. It was going to be a whole deal.
I don't see why they would invite Cal as a third American driver. They already have 2 Americans.
Yeah, but like I was 13 and I wanted more Cal Weathers.
I'd like an extended version of Race and Win for the bonus features.
There is somebody. I got a comment a few days ago. I'm gonna read it. I got a comment regarding Race and Win. Somebody asked if they could use it for a project they were making, and I think that's pretty cool. There is no instrumental, so it's gonna just be.
Well, maybe people could add their own instrumental parts to it, and
maybe I was
I think
planning to do that
if
when the movie first released. Maybe I'll do that in the future.
Yeah, I got a comment from someone asking, "Hey, can I use Race?"
Maybe I would maybe be able to make instrumental to it, but yeah, I could make instrumental for it, but I probably won't.
There are 4 notes played on piano at the beginning of Race and Win. That was my contribution. Someone said, "Hey, can I use Race and Win in my own Cars movie? Maybe make a few tweaks. If so, could you send me the link to the whole of the lyrics on one of my videos? I don't mind which one. It's just so other people don't steal it. I'll credit you as a creator." To this person, I don't know if they're watching because I don't recognize them. I don't think they've commented before. I don't have a problem with doing that. I don't know if I will. The thing is, I don't have the full song. I could sing it, but I don't have the original. I don't have the original audio anymore. There are 2 verses that were not in the movie. It's more of the same.
2 whole
Maybe you could still write the lyrics.
Yeah, I do have the lyrics written down still. There's a bridge, and I really like the bridge because I shout out a bunch of Piston Cup sponsors. I think it's fun. Let me go. I'm sorry, I feel like I've been neglecting the chat.
Also, about the fan fiction, I assume you're not gonna be into the whole Cars humanized thing.
I was considering, alongside the fanfiction video, I was gonna do a Have You Heard Of episode on like, or it wouldn't be a Have You Heard Of, but it would just be me like critiquing human Cars fan art.
It's always so cool.
It's written because on fanfiction.net, I sometimes look through there for car stories, fun car stories, and there's like a whole entire community who make car stories but humanized, and and honestly, I dislike those even more than the stories where humans end up in the Cars world.
The part I don't get with that though is why do that when like, stupid question, but you're typing a story. It only exists in text. So who cares if they're humans now? That doesn't really change anything in the medium you're doing it in.
Why they do it? Look, I just
I think we lost Robin.
Oh no.
Oh, he's back.
But there's no sound.
Okay. I think you're good, Robin. If you talk again, I think it just glitched there.
it sounded like somebody else joined and then left, but I didn't see anyone. So
Are there any Cars 2 deleted scenes of the World Grand Prix? Yes.
we got Germany, we got France, and we got, of course, the extended Tokyo scene.
Yeah, there's a lot. If you look into Cars 2 deleted scenes, you will very quickly run into the other places they wanted them to race in. What's the deal with the extended cut of the Tokyo race? Because I never fully got it. Is that in a certain version of it?
It's gone. Or not time. What is he? So Robin's. Oh, he's back.
He's back.
Great.
I don't know what's going on.
Was there like a specific place where because the weird thing with the extended Tokyo scene is it's fully animated, so it got cut late in the game. I think you could watch it on Disney Plus, but are there like certain airings of the movie that have it, or do we not know?
No, it was. I saw the commentary for it. It used to be on Disney Plus, but now it's gone. At least for me, I don't know why, but it was never in the movie. In any official release of the movie, it was just a bonus on the DVD for the movie. Okay. So yeah, they just said, according to the directors or whoever commentated on that, they did this whole scene, but maybe for the movie's pacing, they cut out a lot of the parts. But they said, we still love this, so we're gonna release it as a bonus feature in the DVD.
So you typically don't see that with animated movies. You typically don't get fully animated scenes. That was cut really, really late in the game.
Yeah, they animated everything. It looks like just a straight up regular scene from the movie.
Jordan C. Production says if you look closely, the scenes in the extended cut are on the monitors in McQueen's pit in the final cut. Let me add that to my list of stuff for the iceberg.
Really?
That's going on the iceberg list.
Oh yeah, good one.
I got another really funny one the other day, which is that there's a glitch in Race-O-Rama that prevents you from beating the game.
Some versions it does work, and some versions it doesn't.
Yeah, so on the Xbox, it's on the Xbox version apparently. There's one of the achievements is to get all the achievements, but that counts itself as an achievement, and thus there is no way to get it.
That's so stupid. When I first read about it, I was just like, what?
I'm adding that.
I'm not sure if this is just something with my version that I downloaded, but the PS2 version for me didn't go beyond the Mater's Tokyo race. After that, I'm pretty sure it broke or something, and I wasn't able to get to Motoropolis.
Yeah, that's got to be yours specifically.
Yeah, I think I've seen
I'm gonna try. I'm probably gonna
version.
restart the entire game thing, so maybe it was just a bug or something. But I'm gonna try it again, and if it happens again, then maybe it's an issue with the PS2 version.
Well, no, because I saw a full playthrough, and it went all the way to the ending, I believe.
On PS2?
Yeah, the PS2 version. It looks very crap. That's how I know it's the PS2 version.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna give it a try again because it might just be a bug.
Are there any Cars 4 deleted scenes from Ty's Cars 4? There aren't many deleted scenes that were filmed. There were deleted concepts. I have for a long time had a video in the works going over what I cut from Cars 4. Most of it were ideas. But there are 2 actual scenes with actual footage that didn't make it in. As well as this one doesn't matter and nobody will care, but several images in the credits didn't make the cut. I still have those saved. Some of the pictures I took of characters didn't make it into the credits because I didn't need it. But the the most notable scene filmed for Cars 4 that was cut, both of them were like 5 seconds each, and I just thought they kind of messed with the pacing. There was a Alof the Lightyear blimp cameo. After the first race, he was going to show up and go, oh yeah, woo, as he's known to do. But I cut that because it didn't really fit.
The other one?
I don't remember the other one. It was probably just racing footage. Yeah, I don't think I still have it. I could try. I'll look for it real quick. I do not still have it now.
Maybe harder. Maybe it's in the camera roll in like the 1990s for some reason.
No, I do have images in my camera roll that are labeled as like from 2009 for some reason. I have an old iPad mini my sister and I used to use. It's what when I first started my channel, I would film on this old iPad mini and it was awful. Woo! And now when I take a picture on it, it saves it as being from like 1978 and it's like, my guy, the iPad did not exist in 1978. Where's this coming from?
I don't know.
Should we all just buy a Wii to play the Mater's Tall Tales video game? If you're buying a Wii only for the Mater's Tall Tales game, that is a waste of a good console.
Don't.
Waste of a console.
Man, I only got the Wii for it. Mater's Tall Tales, the video game.
I do have it. I haven't played it in years. Yeah, most of the good games for the Wii have been put on the Switch at this point. I don't really know. I don't think there's much of a point to buy a Wii anymore. Other, of course, than Mater's Tall Tales, the video game. That would be the main reason nowadays.
Especially
I considered buying Mater's Tall Tales, the video game, when it was on sale on Steam, but I decided not to because it's not really my type of game.
It's just a minigame collection.
I thought it was a Wii exclusive.
But there is now a Steam version, just like there's one for Cars, the video game, and Made National.
Oh, then whoever commented
there
that,
is a PC version of it. Let's say that.
get it on Steam, my guy. Whoever commented, I'm sorry, get it on Steam.
It's not my type of game. I like racing. It's not. I'm not this.
It's
Racing is
It's
my
like
thing.
a minigame collection.
yeah, it's just a minigame collection. Robin, I don't remember if we.
My favorite parts of video games.
I don't remember if we put this on the iceberg list, but I think I talked to you about it. I think we put it on the list, but there is a cut Heavy Metal Mater game in the Cars Tunes video game. It was going to be a rhythm game, obviously.
I don't remember that.
Okay, well I know
I would have loved that. It's a shame to cut it. Imagine Guitar Hero, but it's just dead gum.
Somebody's got to mod that into Heavy Metal Mater game. I have that down. Good. Somebody mod Dadgum into one of those rhythm games. Somebody mod it into like the Trombone Champ for me. I don't even have that game. Can we get it on Beat Saber? That's not how Beat Saber works. Is
Dude,
it?
I would love that. Even though it's like 30 seconds long, I love that.
Dude, I would straight. I gotta get a VR headset. I think that'd be so fun. I know they got some Star Wars games on there. There's an Iron Man game on there. There are 2 Iron Man games on PlayStation VR. I gotta get a VR headset. That'd be fun.
Man, imagine playing Cars games in VR. A shame there are no VR Cars games.
Like that's pretty. I don't think I know anybody who has any sort of VR gear, but I would love to play that Iron Man game. That would be very cool. I think they made a sequel now.
I don't think I'd very much like VR because it's gonna be a screen on my face. I don't think that's gonna be healthy for me.
I have glasses. I don't know how that would work.
I just don't like the idea of VR. I've played a few VR games at a friend's house, and like every once in a while it might be fun, but it's not something I would often do.
I wouldn't want to do it frequently, no. And that's like the thing is, I would be too concerned about knocking into stuff.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly. I just don't like being
depends.
completely immersed into a game. I want to have like some sense of where I am.
Well, there's just I know from my friend who has that set where I played it. It is possible to do it, but you still need a big open space if you want to have like proper area. Like in my room, I would not be able to do it because I just
Yeah, I don't think there's really, like, I don't think my living room, it wouldn't fit. The type of couch I have, it wouldn't fit. The type of couch I have is 2 seats and then the third one that sort of juts out. That's on like an ottoman. I have to move it out of the way when I film in my living room. So I don't think my house is built for it.
Yeah, I would just straight up knock in my room.
It was scrapped. The Heavy Metal Mater game was scrapped for the El Matador game, apparently. Interesting.
Didn't El Matador come out before Heavy Metal Mater?
Yeah.
So they weren't gonna make one, but they decided to.
What Cars tunes?
They also had Mater's Tall Tales missions in Racerama for some reason. The only good one is the Tokyo Mater one. It's like actually racing, and you try to get the most points for drifting. It's fun, but the rest are just quick time events.
What Cars tunes were out at that time but weren't in the Wii game? Heavy Metal Mater, was that it?
I've Mater Private Eye and Moon Mater, I think.
I don't know if those are out yet, because those first came out on the DVD.
Oh no, he's gone.
Robin's having connectivity issues.
On an unrelated note here, I finally got a new keyboard, so yeah, that's awesome. Unfortunately, I can't play it on stream because it's plugged into the wall and it doesn't have batteries anymore, so yeah. It's way better though.
Unidentified Flying Mater didn't have a... No, the Cars Tune DVD launched with Mater Private Eye and Moon Mater, but I think, yeah, Unidentified Flying Mater, I'm pretty sure didn't have a... Pretty sure it didn't have.
It did. Hold on. Let me check. Let me check real quick. Cars Mater's Tall Tales for the Wii.
And see if it's on Steam, too.
Check that later. First, I'll check if there is. This guy makes an episode per. No, there is. There is a UFM.
So
I see. I see the. Yeah, it's the last one from the playthrough here.
I vaguely.
Yeah, there is a UFM game.
I vaguely remember
seeing
it. I think you're like running away from the mother UFO or something. You're running away from the government.
Let me check. First minigame is very weird. You try to knock out tractors, and Mator is picking up the gas cans you throw at the tractors to get extra points. It's weird. Second minigame, let's see. Again, it's just catching things. It's just catching tires to earn points. What is this? Oh, okay, so this game just turned into a flying simulator. You drive with your main character. Well, you don't drive. You fly, and you try to hit the rings on the screen, similar to Planes the video game.
So it's Superman 64?
Yeah, that too. And then you, let's see the other one. Mator gets captured. Oh, you gotta, I think you gotta pass through, yeah, you gotta pass through without getting spotted by a bunch of spotlights or searchlights. So yeah, get to the science lab. To parking area 51. Nice reference, Pixar.
I don't remember having that many games per Cars Tune.
So then it turns into a, well, it's now the typical Cars games where you drive, but you try to just avoid obstacles. And sometimes when you jump, the camera switches to the front view of the character, sticking their tongue out. And that's it. You never actually try to Well, maybe this is the mini game that we're talking about when you were trying to escape the mother UFO.
I don't remember well enough. I am now going to look it up, and get some sort of nostalgia trip. Except I don't think I'll have a nostalgia trip because I don't remember it enough.
Okay, let's see if it's on Steam. Tall Tales Steam. Yes, it is.
You can get it in a pack combined with, I believe, 2 other Cars 2, the video game, and another one, I believe.
Oh, there's a deal going on. You can get it for 70% off. That's a great deal.
Yeah, and last time that 70% off, I decided not to get it. I'm still not gonna get it.
Ooh, we've got Disney Games Mega Pack, including planes, 77% off. Look at all those games I'm not gonna buy because I don't have a dedicated gaming PC.
I don't have Steam on account of.
Cars games, you don't need a dedicated gaming PC. I can just play them on mine. Mine is definitely.
Yeah, but the Steam versions suck from what I've heard. They get constant glitches.
Depends. The Cars video game and Made in National don't. Cars 2 does, and I don't know about Mater's Tall Tales.
Cars PC version is just literally the same as the Wii version, graphically and everything else.
Well, graphics, it's actually not as good as the console version.
So it's even worse.
Yeah, the graphics are a bit more, not as good, but
That's how it was on the Wii
graphics
version.
are not the main. In the end, the graphics are not the main part of the game. So yeah.
Well, that's how the Wii version looked. It looked exactly the same. The Wii version even looked worse than the previous Cars games. It looked just like the PC version.
Well, then maybe the Wii, not the Wii version, but the other console versions of it look a lot more realistic.
Yeah, they look a lot better. Even the PS2 version, at least the models have a lot of texture and a lot of details. It's just a bit more toned down. The PS3 and Xbox 360 versions are like the full-on definitive versions. Same with like most Cars games out there.
Yeah, but in the end, the graphics are not the most important aspect of gaming. And if they are for you, then why do you even game in the first place?
Well, I do agree with that. Some people are too harsh on Cars 3 Driven Twins
Are they?
graphics. There's a limit. There's a limit, and I do wholeheartedly believe that the PC and Wii versions of Cars 2 are way past that limit for me.
Well, the Cars 3 Driven with my issue, I don't have any issues with how it looks or anything. I have more issues with the voice acting, which is just terrible.
Well, to be fair, I think I'm not defending Cars 3 Driven Twin here. I do think it has a lot of missed potential and it is rushed, but that's because of Avalanche Studios and the whole Warner Brothers thing. It was a mess, so I don't blame them just trying to put this game out with the movie and having it feel rushed.
They could have at least gotten some better voice actors. They don't. Several of them just don't sound like the actual characters at all.
I think the only people.
Well, yeah, but I don't blame Avalanche here. They were on a really tight time schedule, so.
I don't have a problem with the gameplay.
Keith Ferguson or Larry the Cable Guy.
I don't have a problem with the gameplay. It for me, it really is just the voice cast and like.
Gameplay is all right.
It really kills it for me.
It's not great that it's literally just a reskin of the Cars 2 video game.
I do have gameplay issues, but for a long time now, I've wanted to do a video. I've wanted to do a series sort of crafting what like my dream Cars video game would be. I think that'd be really cool.
Well, yeah, but then you gotta come up with a story.
Well,
If I were to do that, I would come up with like a whole world of I would make a video game about the whole motorsport world, expanding all on the World Grand Prix, etc. But that's of course just me being the motorsport nerd I am.
Well, I was thinking of, I wasn't gonna have it. I was thinking like in terms of it being like a party game, like straight up racing game, like in the vein. My favorite Cars video game is Cars 2, the video game. I just think it's fun as a racing game. The other ones have the first Race-O-Rama and Cars the video game have good fun stories, but I always, I like
Yeah,
how
well,
Cars
here's
2.
the thing. Cars to Cars Race-O-Rama are more single player oriented, while Cars 2 and Cars 3 are more multiplayer.
So in terms of making a YouTube series of how I would craft my personal like Ultimate Cars video game, it wouldn't. I could mention it could have a story mode, but my goal would just be here's a big roster of characters. Here are locations from all over the Cars series that you could race at. That was sort of the goal, to have it be like, like a sort of more of a multiplayer sort of party game, like basically like a Mario Kart for cars, where you don't need to be concerned about there being a storyline. And like I just sort of wanted to take locations from each of the major Cars pieces of media and different characters and stuff.
But then that's just a lazy licensed kids game.
Wow.
What I like about the
Shot down.
Original 3 is that they were ambitious.
I don't
And
need
that's
to make
what made them not feel lazy and rushed.
Yeah, the good thing about them is like most video games are either like some kind of version of the movie they're based on, but with different things because it's a game, or they're like they add story to it, but most of it is just lazy and constantly the same. While these video games, they actually got some unique for each of the video games and also unique stories.
Exactly. In regards to my series, I don't need to draft an entire story. It could very well have a story mode, but it's not relevant to what I'm coming up with for this series. Cars had it very good.
Oh dear, what is happening? What is happening?
My Wi-Fi keeps cutting out. Ever since I got the latest Windows version, it keeps cutting out.
Robin keeps
It goes
leaving
down at
because
you for acknowledging the existence of the Steam version of Mater's Tall Tales.
Well, I ignored it for myself for a reason, but okay.
I think he left because of what Rashid said about the about my Cars video game idea. I think I wanted to leave, but if I left, then I think the call would probably be over. So I can't leave.
You could, I think you could either leave and end the call, or just leave and not end the call. I think that's an option there.
Well, if I left and didn't end the call, then I'd still be live streaming, and thus I cannot leave.
Man, were they really that harsh? I was just being honest. Am I wrong here?
Yes, Doug's brain is the only thing that changes color, just like me in real life. Whenever I take a shower, my brain turns like hot pink. It's scary.
But you can't see it because it's inside your skull.
I'm sorry.
Isn't your brain always pink?
You can't see. Yeah, but it changes shades of pink. You can't see your own brain. This is such a weak joke. I need to stop. I need to quit while I'm ahead.
Yep.
Still better than Cable Tom. Who the heck? Who's Cable Tom? Wait, who are you referring to? I misread that as Cable from Color Changers. Like, who? Tow Truck Tom?
Did he the Color Changers version? I don't think so. Tom had it.
He did. Race Tow Truck Tom had one. No, I'm gonna call him Cable Tom from now on. You should take that as an honor.
He's just Cable now.
He's Cable from the X-Men.
It's like MC where they refer to her as like a terrible name that just explains what she is and doesn't give her a proper name.
What they were referring to was the Race Tow Truck Tom color changer. He didn't change colors, only the yellow on him did, and not even his tow cable.
That's honestly still better than just the brain changing.
I like that at least they acknowledge.
If his brain was really changing, then you wouldn't be able to see his brain. So yeah.
I do appreciate
a cool Doug Crankle color changer where he changes from gray to green, but no, we get his brain changing.
Well, we know now that they changed. Disney had produced it. They changed late in the game the brains from green to gray, and by then the merchandise was already in production. What I appreciate is if you look, the card art for Color Changers Doug Crankle does make him gray, which matches with the product, which is sort of in line with how the Color Changers will always show you on the artwork what colors the car is. This is accurate to the item you're buying, so I respect that. What I don't respect...
that item you're buying isn't accurate to the show.
But it's accurate to the card art, and it's a color changer, so the color doesn't really matter. You know? His face is just very normal. He has a normal face. He doesn't have a zombie face. And it's fine.
His diecast is him performing. His color changer is just him off the set.
That's what I took it as.
Just drinking coffee and being like, yeah, I'm Doug Crankle.
He's hanging out. He's Doug. Famous actor Doug Crankle.
He's like Dwayne The Rock Johnson of the Cars universe.
He is the Cars universe's he is the Cars universe's Tom Cruise.
More like the Cars universe's Dane Cook.
A person that I definitely know.
Yeah, and who definitely voiced a plane in a definitely original film series.
He's the voice of Dusty.
Sorry, Dane Cook was just trying to imitate Owen Wilson in the plane movie.
I'm not familiar.
That's just a fact.
I'm not familiar with.
I wouldn't 100% agree on that.
I'm not familiar with Dane Cook's other work, so I can't comment. I don't know what he sounds like. I haven't seen him in anything else.
Yeah, I'm not gonna judge him because that's sort of the McQueen of the planes movies, but
it's just that Disney's decision to have him. I think they just had him because he sounds like Owen Wilson. The kids aren't gonna notice.
I think even Disney Toon Studio was a little less shallow than that when they made planes. I think, in a sense, I know John Lasseter has done not good things that I won't get into here on my toy car channel, but you can tell, beyond it being a cash grab, you can tell from interviews and stuff, he's just passionate about all kinds of vehicles. Like, it's, Cars is, he really did want to expand this world, and yeah, we see it as scummy and shallow, and we know it is, in a sense, but obviously behind every project there's at least one person working on it that cares, and I think John Lasseter, honestly, if you read the interview with him regarding trains, he was like, oh my god, I love trains. He's like, I want to do all the vehicles, and that's not something I agree with, and I think most people would be like, that's going too far, buddy, but I think to him, he really did want to do that.
My stance on John Lasseter is that he's obviously, like you said, very passionate. I just feel like he has a lot of concepts that he just wants to make a planes movie, a trains movie, a cars movie, but he doesn't really have a good original plot to talk about these vehicles and have them in these different scenarios. They just feel like the most generic plots. He just wanted to have a planes movie. I feel like he's a great director. I don't know who wrote Planes, but it feels like he did. I don't know. I need to research that. But I think he's very passionate about vehicles, but doesn't know the right way to involve them in a plot
I think in regards to Cars, I think maybe he was just a one-hit wonder when it came to Cars, if that makes sense. Because Planes was very much similar to Cars in terms of a lot of major plot points. So, you know, and we know other Cars spin-offs were planned and they had much different concepts. So I wonder if Planes being so similar to Cars was just a John Lasseter thing. And Planes does... One thing I respect about both Planes movies, they do something that Cars doesn't, in the sense that they're more about the vehicles, whereas Cars is more about the characters, if that makes sense. Planes is about plane racing, and then eventually we get into like the whole section where he's with the military. And in Planes Fire and Rescue, it's there's obviously the firefighter vehicles and stuff. So it sort of goes into things that these vehicles are used for, and does take sort of the concept of this is a whole world of vehicles. So what's the military like? What's firefighters like? Because in real life we have fighter planes. In real life we have fire trucks. And I think Cars is more about the characters and more about Cars.
That's a really good point. I never really thought about it that way.
Thanks. I just came up with it now. I just came up with it now, but I think it can hold water.
Well, you came up with now, but it is probably... I'm not even sure if they did that intentionally, but it is definitely... That's a really...
But I think there should be a balance. It can't be just all about, oh, those are vehicles. You gotta have good characters, and I think Cars and Cars 3 balance that well. Cars 2 can... I don't know.
Cars always has memorable characters. Planes... I think part of why Planes is forgettable is it doesn't have the most memorable characters, because you look at the cast and you're like, oh, Dusty Crophopper, he's just Lightning McQueen. Chug, that's just Mater. You know, and that's not entirely true. But all three Cars movies have memorable casts of characters. Everyone's gonna remember the Cars of Radiator Springs. They all have such distinct personalities. And that's another great thing about Cars, is just how distinct all the different townies are. No two of them are the same. Like, they all sort of have a gimmick. They have sort of an archetype. And they're generic archetypes. There's the hippie. There's the, like, military one. There's the sheriff with a heart of gold. There's the Italian one. There's the Italian one who doesn't speak English. There's the one who doesn't speak at all. They're generic, they're very much stereotypes that you see all over the place. But you see them all over the place because in the sense of the Cars series, they work. Like, they make the characters memorable. And they also play to what types of vehicles they are, obviously.
Yeah, I feel like that's a good point. In Planes, I feel like a lot of characters are just interchangeable. But with Cars, they really made a point to make them all different.
It Planes, I think some of the most distinct character for me, the one that always stands out to me, is El Chupacabra. He's also like such a stereotype, but it works still with him.
And he's memorable. I love El Chupacabra is probably like him and like Cad Spinner are probably my favorite Planes characters, because you remember them. They leave an impact on you, like few other characters in Planes do. I think, honestly, and that's very much.
Yeah, Rip Slinger is like literally. Rip Slinger is literally Chick Hicks.
I can't tell you.
Free.
Same with I think his name was Skipper. He's blue.
Yeah, he's Doc. The Skipper's just Doc.
Dodged.
The other...
I can't name all the Planes just like Cars. Cars have such memorable characters that I feel like anyone who's watched the movie like 2 or 3 times knows pretty much all the characters. I watched Planes multiple times. I can only name from the racers Dusty, Rip Slinger, El Chupacabra, and Ishani. I can't name the English one, and I can't name any of the other ones.
Bulldog and Rochelle, at least Bulldog is, in my opinion, still memorable. He's a pretty cool character.
My other
He's
thing
not
is...
as unique as El Chupacabra or someone like that.
Like, this might not be a fair comparison, but think of like the World Grand Prix racers. That's a distinct group. There are 10, 11 of them. You remember every one. Maybe not if you just see Cars 2 once, and if you only see the movie once or twice, you definitely don't know all their names. But I think there are enough where they stand out then think about the smoke jumpers in Planes, Fire, and Rescue. I can't tell you which one is which. And I know they're all the same type of vehicle, which is why I'm saying it's not really a fair comparison. But unlike the World Grand Prix racers, all of those spoke, and they were far more significant in the movie. And like I'm talking about, like yeah, Windlifter, Blade Ranger, the one that was named like Little Dipper or whatever, dumb name.
Little Dipper.
I remember them because they were different types of vehicles. They had unique designs.
Well, if you think about it, most of the Cars 1 and Cars 3, they also have most of the races the same. They got different paint jobs, but aside from that, they're also the same. And some of us cars collectors, we might be able to name all of them, but most of those races you wouldn't be able to name either.
Yeah, but that's why I used World Grand Prix cars as an example, because there are fewer, and I think they're more well known because there are less of them. The smoke jumpers are in the movie a good deal, and they all speak, but they're all so similar. Like DJ Boost, Wingo, and Snot Rod, right? Everyone knows them. They're all very distinct. But again, I don't think it's a fair comparison because again, those are the vehicles you're using. They're based off of the real thing. So.
Oh no, not picking up. Okay, I feel like the World Grand Prix racers, at least as a whole, were memorable from that movie. Like, I think people who watched the movie once or twice, they can't name all of them, but they can remember them as an entire group because they're just so memorable. But with Planes, you don't really remember a lot of the racers and the characters. You can only, I think a person who's watched Planes once or twice can only name like 2 racers that are really important to the plot.
Our problem is
they're not really
memorable. You get into a total of 8 races that are important to the plot that, yeah, you would remember them if you watched them the movie like 2 or 3 times.
I think
well, also maybe worth mentioning that most of those race planes, they're similar models, similar to the
Piston Cup cars.
They always race in those same competitions. Meanwhile, the World Grand Prix races, they don't race in the same competition, which is also why they're different, why they're notable. So it's more like a Piston Cup NASCAR-ish type of
Exactly. That's why I can't remember. I don't remember all the wings around the globe. Since they're all from different countries, I think we immediately compare them to the World Grand Prix. But there are like 20, I think there are 18 total, I believe, and that is sort of why I think it's not as easy to remember. And yeah, we say, oh, well, this is like this for people who've only seen the movie once or twice, but we aren't in that scenario, you know. And if you see we know all the Piston Cup cars because we've watched the movie several times. I can't tell you where most of them appear, you know. I know them through the merchandise, obviously, because I know all the names from collecting cars, and just because I've never been as interested in planes, I don't remember the wings around the globe racers as well. But if I were as into planes as I was into cars, then that wouldn't be, you know, it wouldn't be like that.
And if they had actually continued releasing Planes diecast, then you would also at some point just get to know their names better.
Part of the reason why Planes is so forgettable is because they act like it doesn't exist. It's as simple as that, you know. It's not all on us. A lot of the longevity of the Cars series has been, yeah, it has staying power, but also right here, right? The Cars diecast line, Cars merchandise is what has really kept the Cars series going, and Disney sees that, obviously, because that makes a lot of money, and thus they make more Cars content.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that didn't happen to Planes, because I think if they had done more with that, then we would have gotten more release. And I know that there's some really interesting vehicles in the Planes world.
Yeah,
and I would love to have diecasts for. Just because they're really cool background characters, and you could just look at a few scenes in the movie. You'll see a ton of characters who I would love to have some diecasts for and use for whatever.
the canceled Cars from Planes, Fire, and Rescue for 2016. Most disappointing cancellation in the history of Cars merchandise. Okay, we had characters like Nick, Loop, and Lopez, and we had so many cool concepts, types of vehicles we've never gotten before. And I'm not really a real life vehicle guy, right? But like, I love getting new molds and types of things we haven't seen before, especially different types of vehicles. Nick, Loop, and Lopez, to have that sort of retro 70s bubble helicopter, it reminds me of what like the helicopter Batman had in like the 60s Batman show was. That's what helicopters looked like back then.
The Thanos copter.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just not a fan of the idea of turning Cars into like Star Wars or Marvel, having multiple franchises and just milking the hell out of it.
I thought you were.
I just feel like that's scummy, and that's why I'm glad Planes didn't take off. I didn't want that fate for Cars.
No, there's always some. There's always something to be said for a movie series that can keep it small scale. Like, everything gets franchised out. Just yesterday I heard the Creed movies, which are that Rocky spinoff. They made 3 of them. They're very good. I watched them recently, then I saw the third one, it just came out. But yesterday they announced, we're gonna do a spinoff movie, a spinoff TV show, and Michael B. Jordan wants to make an anime adaptation. Which is insane. That's cool, okay. But like immediately I go, hold on. I respect the anime adaptation. That's at least putting it in a different medium, and that's fun. But like you just announced, number one, there are 6 Rocky movies. You have 3 of these spin-offs, and now you want to do a spin-off of your spin-off and a TV show. Like that's where you lose me. The MCU is different because that's Marvel, and that has 80 years of material. Obviously, we know Marvel is in a place currently where a lot of people are getting tired of just because they put out way too much over a short period of time. Yeah. There's a downside to franchising everything. And I think the Cars series in the grand scheme of things is in a very strange place where it's a small franchise, but it's also a big one. 3 movies, 2 different series of animated shorts, a TV show, several video games, and one of the longest, most consistently running movie toy lines ever. Name me another series that has a consistently released toy line as Cars, so consistent that they can still release things from 2006 again in the modern day.
Star Wars, maybe?
The Star Wars figures, I would say that, because obviously those have gone on since Star Wars started. But those actually weren't...
Maybe not... I was more thinking Lego Star Wars.
Oh, yeah. Lego's in a field of its own, I think. Star Wars action figures...
Yeah, okay, Lego doesn't maybe count as much to movie merchandise because it's really just its own thing.
Star Wars action figures actually took 10 years off from 1985 to 1995. Marvel Legends has run since 2002. So Marvel Legends is up there. It's run since 2002.
Yeah, and if you think about it this way with Cars, how successful it's with its own toy line, we almost didn't get that. Cars, there was like initially they planned to do Cars just as like 1/64 releases in the Hot Wheels line, and
did they?
If they had done that, then it would not have lasted as long.
I didn't even know that.
I found out about that recently.
That's very interesting. I'll look into that. That's good for the iceberg.
Pretty sure I did send you something about that.
I think you did, yeah. The thing with like the Thomas Wooden Railway lasted a long time, and then they axed it, and yeah, it's back now. But I don't see it as the same thing because Cars has been the same toy line. It hasn't been rebooted. It hasn't taken time out. Even Star Wars took 10 years off, where they weren't making new Star Wars figures.
Yeah, like with Thomas, it feels like every 4 or 5 years they change the toy line.
They reboot their toy line.
From Erdl to Take and Play, Adventures, Push Along, and now All Engines Go. It changes constantly. With Cars, there's little change. It's pretty much the same as it was back in 2006.
And again, that's a testament to the quality of the products. They don't need to innovate. You look at a Star Wars figure from 15 years ago, and yeah, they're not as articulated. The faces aren't as detailed. Cars didn't need to innovate. the quality you're getting now is the same you've been getting the whole time, and I don't know. I just think that's cool. Like even Lego, you look at a Lego figure from.
There's a little bit of improvement in facial expressions.
There
it's
is.
Not as big of a thing as with figures in the.
Or Lego, like look at Lego faces, right? The amount of improvement in Lego minifigure faces and printing, insane over the past 10 years, to the point where a Lego figure from when I was a kid is obsolete now. But you can get a 2006 Lightning McQueen and compare it to a 2023 Lightning McQueen, and you're looking at the same quality. And I think it's cool because since so many other toy lines are constantly innovating because they need to innovate to make things look more like what they're based off of, Cars doesn't need that. Cars has been accurate from the beginning, which allows them to do these re-releases. And sometimes fixing inaccurate items, obviously.
Yeah, but indeed, that allows them to do a lot more variation from the movie, from what they release from the movies, like all those background characters. I think also Cars background characters like that easily. First of all, they're toy cars. You can store them way easier than action figures.
Exactly.
Because if you want to display them, you should just put them down. Well, with action figures, you have to make sure they don't fall over and all that. That's also something that really helps. And that's not just cars. That's also with Hot Wheels. But with cars, of course, it's related to a movie, so, which makes it more special.
Exactly. I like how we have had like two deep philosophical discussions.
I can accept video games. I can accept shorts. It just feels like making an entire spin-off on Cars. Like, why not expand the world and the characters that you already have? You know, I know the world, they kind of expanded that in Planes, but you have several characters you can tell stories with.
I think that's
the only reason I see them making Planes is just so that they have something new and exciting, saying, "Oh my God, guys, this is a whole new thing. You better watch it."
Part of it is, though, it's the world of Cars. There's a whole world in the Cars series we're focused on one town's worth of people. And that's an issue. That's a thing you hear from Star Wars fans. I've heard a lot nowadays from Star Wars fans. That's why so many people like Mando at first, is this is a guy we've never seen before in this universe. When you have a world that's big like this, you establish, you like Star Wars for 40 years focused on the same family basically. And yeah, you got a lot of other characters and then those characters get spin-offs, but you have a whole world out there, so why not just introduce a new character? That's sort of what they went for with Planes. So, like, I appreciate it in that regard, that they did try to go for something new and just have new characters, because that's why they call it the world of Cars. It's a whole world. It's not just the Radiator Springs Cars.
My video game concept is like something that I would love to see, because that expands literally on the world of Cars.
Exactly. That's what you were saying earlier. And, like, that's something Planes does do world building. It really does. If you look across the Planes movies, I'd argue Planes does more world building than the first Cars movie.
And it doesn't just build on Planes' part of the world, it also builds on the Cars part of the world.
Exactly. And that's another cool thing about Planes, is it not just cars and planes, but trains and Roombas. Planes really makes it feel like a living world where it's not just cars. I don't really know if Planes focuses on planes, but it focuses on all sorts of vehicles to a much bigger extent than Cars does. Yeah.
But here's the thing, did you really have to make an entire spin-off franchise on that? Did you really? Couldn't you make it like a short, maybe a mini-series, focusing on like, I can see them doing in like the late 2010s, making like YouTube short series where where it's each episode, we look at the trains of the Cars world, and then we look at the cranes, and then we look at that. But instead they made a whole big budget animated movie. And I think this is one of the only Disney Toon animated movies to be in theaters.
It is the only
Usually they're
one.
just in straight to DVD. But what I don't like is that you could expand on the Cars world, but there are other ways than just making an entire spin-off franchise on it that I'm glad it didn't take off, because I just don't want Cars be in the state where there are like several spin-off franchises.
Yeah.
And it's all just confusing, and you gotta see this to understand that, and see that to understand.
Cars will never
I'm just
be.
glad Planes didn't take off because it just would have made a mess of the Cars franchise.
Cars will
That's
never
what
be.
I'm getting at.
Cars is never going to be in a place where you need to see this to understand that. It's all very standalone. There's not an overarching plot, you know. But here's the thing: money exists, and Disney makes it. And Disney learned from Planes that if you do a Cars spinoff, maybe you don't make as much money as you would hope, and thus we just stay focused on Cars.
What I just want to say, like Rashid just said about how could do the world building in a different way. Like, on the one hand, I do agree it could be in a different way. The other hand, it is the way they did it in Planes. They actually expanded on the world while also focusing on the story, but you can still clearly see the world around it. If you did like a dedicated series showing off different parts of the Cars worlds, I don't think people would be as interested in it as much because
It doesn't have a plot of its own.
usually follow a single character. The only way you may be able to do it is with if you did more major tall tales surrounding all these different places. That's the only way I could imagine they did it if they didn't do it for Planes.
That's a really.
Mater, like as crazy as he gets with his stories, even he doesn't know everything.
You make a really good point, because the concept of being like, oh, this is what insert vehicle here is doing, that doesn't really have its own plot. That seems kind of more scummy to me. I don't know. I don't really care. It is what it is, and I'm glad we got what we did get. And Planes is fine. It was sort of an experiment. We've had such deep philosophical discussions on Planes and the ethics of toy cars. I feel like I've been neglecting the chat.
Yeah, it's just my final thoughts on this is that making an entire spin-off movie series feels more scummy than like making a video game or a TV series.
No, yeah,
like,
it's more.
That's not gonna get as much attention or profit. So you're kind of free to do your own thing. With the movies, I feel like you should be more conservative with those kind of things.
No, I
and not
completely
just
agree
make
with that.
A billion of them.
I completely agree, and I'm glad we're not in a place where we got a ton. You know, I think where we are with the Cars series is perfectly fine now. Planes is fine, but if you do boats and you do trains, that's where you lose me. I'm sorry. I'm glad Cars wasn't milked like that.
The problem I have with Planes is that a lot of people, and you guys also praise it for exploring the Cars world, but I don't really see it as a good movie.
I don't praise
plot is
Planes
just
for
generic.
anything.
The characters are all stereotypical, even more than the original Cars and all the other Cars movies. It's just, yeah, it expands on the Cars world, but that's really the only thing it has.
No, exactly. Just
expanding on the world doesn't hold an entire spin-off franchise. You know, you gotta.
I never said it did.
Other than just expanding the world.
I never said it did, and that's it. That's the thing. I never said it did, and Planes has very little to offer other than that. As a movie, it's fine. It's not anything really special. We gotta change topics from this, guys. We've spent the last I think we spent like 20 minutes talking about this now. And this is like the most basic Cars fan conversation to have. Is like, hey, what do you think about Planes? But like, it doesn't matter how much world building you do. The movie has to stand on its own. A lot of people praise the Star Wars prequels for world building, and yeah, they do good world building. But you gotta hold a movie on its own merits. Attack of the Clones does good world building, but it's still not a very good movie.
Yeah.
Well,
let's just talk about something else now.
Robin, do you want to wrap this up?
It's worth noting that the Star Wars, the prequels, like the first three movies that were released, the 4, 5, and 6, they were like stories on their own. Well, the
prequels tell
they're clearly more like with other series that they build something up, not just the world. They built the story.
Yeah, exactly.
And just like the television series, there's also just add on to the story, make it bigger and better or worse, depending on who you ask.
Depending on which series.
And they also do world expanding, and yeah, okay, but let's just not talk about the sequel. Let's ignore the sequels.
I didn't have a problem with the sequels at first, and then they got out of hand. You know.
Yeah, I didn't have the problem with them either. They're fine as individual stories. It's just.
But together, they're not.
It's not like the prequels, which do like world building. They actually make and tell a separate story and build a world and basically make everything click together. While the sequels is just.
Yeah, no, that's the problem. That's the problem.
Let's just say the sequels are worse than Planes.
I would not. I don't know. I think they're fine. They're fine as their own movies. That's the thing with the sequel trilogy is they're fine as their own movies, but when you put them together as an overarching story, they no longer work. I don't need to get into the sequel trilogy because I don't know. I in hindsight wish it could have gone a better way. Obviously, have you been keeping up with Mando so far? Because I think this season has been.
I've only watched the first two.
Oh no, we're talking about Marvel now.
That's not Marvel, but okay. I don't. The third. You said you saw the first two.
I believe I've seen the first two. I'm not gonna get into spoilers here, but let's just say that the last one I saw ended with the eye. I think
with the eye. Yes, you can say that.
Without spoiling it.
Yeah, that's the second one. The third one is interesting. The third one has I've seen a lot of really mixed reception online. I don't know what you know about it, but I will preface it by saying
I don't know anything about it.
Okay, I'm not gonna spoil anything. It's almost an hour, but a lot of this hour is, and I'm gonna give you I'm not gonna spoil it, but I'm gonna tell you what it's about. It's about Dr. Pershing on Coruscant, attempting to. I'm gonna tell you what the episode description says, which is he's on Coruscant as part of the New Republic amnesty program. Basically, he and a bunch of other Imperials have been allowed to enroll in this special program for former Imperials to like be treated better by the New Republic, and he's in sort of like a they're working with him, like he's sort of in like therapy and stuff, and they give him like a desk job, and it's interesting. He meets the girl that was like the officer on Moff Gideon's cruiser in the second season, and they sort of get to know each other. It's interesting. There's
Now you're getting into spoilers.
yeah, it starts and ends with stuff with Mando and Bo-Katan, but a lot of it is Dr. Pershing, and it's an interesting premise, and people, from what I've seen, weren't really the biggest fans of it, but I thought it was very interesting, and it gives you a very interesting. I think it gives you the best look into the New Republic that we've ever seen in anything from the current canon.
It sounds like with those during the Book of Boba Fett, that when they took like a 2-episode break to focus on Mando, kind of sounds like that.
Yeah, but unlike that, like I think they learned their lesson here because everyone complained. Obviously, wait a minute, this is the Book of Boba Fett. You're not showing Boba Fett. Here, they made sure to still continue the Mando story. They made sure of that. So he's still in the episode for a good 20 minutes of it in total at the beginning and end.
Okay. Well, I'm looking forward to watching that whenever I feel like actually watching it, because I don't really feel like watching it right now.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I like the other seasons better. What I did see in a video somebody brought up, and it's a very good point, the other seasons are a lot more standalone-ish, where each episode is sort of its own story, but they still connect. This season has just sort of been back to back to back the same story, and I don't think I enjoy that format for Mando as much. It works well with other shows, but I preferred Mando having each episode be sort of him on a different adventure that all sort of connect.
Yeah.
So I did not get any of that. Anyway, guys, what's up with the Disney Pixar Cars arcade cabinet?
Is that a thing?
What?
Yes, it's basically the arcade mode from Cars 2, the video game, just limited tracks and only 2 laps per race, and it's just overall much faster. So yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna add that to the
They should
iceberg.
have done more allowed free play for the Cars 2 video game to be more than 3 laps, because 3 laps is too short for me.
Well, you could change the number of laps.
You could
for each
in
race.
Cars 2 the video game, you can not go further than 3 laps.
That's weird. That should be the minimum.
Well, at least not in the PC version.
Well, I don't know about the PC version, but the console version, you could go up to 9 laps.
Okay, I'm gonna get an emulator to play the console version now.
Oh my god, the Nintendo police are gonna get you for emulating a game that they released on the Wii like 12 years ago.
It's more than 12 years ago. It's almost it is for the fact that it's still on Steam. Otherwise, it would count as abandonware.
I played it at Chuck E. Cheese. I've never been in a Chuck E. Cheese. Does that mean I didn't have a childhood? Or does that just mean I avoided a giant rat?
Well, I never went to Chuck E. Cheese either, so
We're the lucky
I've
ones.
been there multiple times. There was
I'm
a
lucky
time
it's done in my country.
I was at like a horror thing they had. I was terrified.
Chuck E.
Even
Cheese.
My sister was older than me. She was terrified.
Chuck E. Cheese had a horror thing.
Started crying.
Chuck E.
We just
Cheese.
started bawling our eyes out. It was so terrifying. There were kids spreading rumors. I hate those kids to this day. They were spreading rumors. They go, if you go down the slide, you're gonna suffocate and you're gonna die. And we started crying. We believed them. I don't know why.
You thought you were gonna suffocate to death in the Chuck E. Cheese ball pit.
We were scared. We were stuck. We couldn't even get back. The maze was so confusing. So a worker had to come to us and escort us out. We were terrified for life, and then we had pizza, and it was all right.
How long ago was this? If you say like 2 months ago, I'm kicking you from this.
No.
It was 3
like
months ago.
Years ago. I believe when I was probably around 7,
Okay.
that happened.
Okay, good. I have a zoo like 30 minutes away from me, and they had like a rope course, and me and my sister and my mom and my mom's friend who works at a zoo in another part of the country, she was visiting, and we all went there, and it was like a suspended rope course, and I was 11 at the time. They harnessed me up. I took about 4 steps, and then I just started bawling. I could not handle it. And they took me down, which was very nice of them. And like it was too much stress for me. I'm sorry, but I'm kind of glad because it took my sister like 2 hours to complete. I don't have a fear of heights necessarily, but there I just realized like, yo, I can't do this. It was like I think I was panicking.
I think that I don't really have those issues. I really like those type of. I actually like those types because I usually stay safe on the ground. So doing something. Oh.
You were not.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
Okay, well, I usually stay low to the ground and safe and all that. So doing something that's a bit more dangerous every once in.
Yeah, exactly.
It sounds fun. Like.
I would do it now.
Driving cars or anything, but I do like going to the car track and renting a car for like a half an hour every once in a while. And I really like. I'm not gonna actually drive cars normally.
I would do something like that now. I told my sister once we were like we gotta go to like Sky Zone.
Bro, I remember Sky Zone. It was great. I went there only one time.
I've never been there.
School trip. And it was the best time of my life.
We were, because they, like, it's perfectly, like, acceptable for an older person to go to Sky Zone. They have, you know, my sister and I were, like, a few years ago, we were talking, like, after the pandemic ends, you and I need to go to Sky Zone. We still have not. I'd love to go to a Sky Zone, man. So when I was, you know, I didn't do birthday parties. When I was younger, I had a lot of stress regarding, like, going to new locations or, you know, being in large groups. So I wasn't really the best at birthday parties. I went to one in a place similar to a Sky Zone, though. You know, it's always fun. I did laser tag a few times. I have not done any of this in years. I don't have a big enough like friend group in real life to just casually be like, hey, you guys don't want to go do laser tag? 'Cause if I did, then I totally would do something like that nowadays. That would be pretty cool. Guys, I'm inviting everyone on the stream here. We're all gonna go, we're gonna make Rashid pay for it, and not invite him, but he's gonna pay for it. And we're all gonna go do laser tag.
No, I'm not doing that.
I have never been to Chuck E. Cheese. That's what started this conversation. I've never gone to Chuck E. Cheese.
I've never gone there too. It's not even around here. Come on.
But the other thing is the other thing with me is none of my friends ever had parties at Chuck E. Cheese. So I never
Yeah.
Chuck E. Cheese. I never.
I never had a party at Chuck E. Cheese, but I went there a few times.
But I was never. Yeah,
I've never been to one. I'm pretty sure there's also none in my country. So
I don't think my parents respect the establishment that is Charles Entertainment Cheese's restaurant and arcade. And honestly, more power to them. I don't think they would. Yeah, it's kind of gross in Chuck E. Cheese.
The E stands for entertainment?
Yeah, his full. Look it up. The canonical full name of Chuck E. Cheese is Charles Entertainment Cheese.
That is concerning. Let's just say that.
Entertainment is actually also my middle name. Little known fact: my full name is T Toy Entertainment Reviews Ty. That is my legal name. Don't ask me otherwise, and don't ask me off stream because then I will most likely tell you my. If you find me in person, don't ask me for my actual name because I will most likely forget that I said that and thus tell you an actual name.
Well,
I didn't know.
you should
your
carry
last
like
name.
alongside your passport or whatever you use. You should carry a separate paper with that name around.
Exactly. It's a card I show people.
Just put it with your official papers.
Exactly. I mean, it's like a business card. And it's that's my government name. Carson will be joining us in a half hour. Very cool. Okay, I don't know how much longer we'll go after that. We may end very soon after that, actually, because I don't have all day.
Yeah, I don't know how long. I still got like 45 minutes or so.
Yeah, exactly. I think we're gonna end in about 45
we just
minutes.
Expanded a little bit.
So, like, shout out Cars Ignite, who probably won't be able to stay on long. I gotta go real quick though. I will be right back.
We can take over the stream now.
I gotta go get it.
Yeah.
I'll be right back. I'm just going to the bathroom.
Okay. Bye, Ty.
Bye, Thai guy.
Ty, die, Fillmore. Ty, but with Ty. Tito refused Ty, died, Fillmore.
I constantly refer to Ty as Thai guy. Like, I never stop. Always in DMs, he says, hello, Mr. Reviews or Review Man. I call him Thai guy. He is the Thai guy.
I just call Ty by, I just say Ty. I don't know, I can't be bothered to come. Which is weird because I'm usually the one who comes up with the nicknames. Fun fact, I don't have a nickname myself because I only come up with nicknames for others and not myself, and nobody else comes up with good nicknames for me.
The only nickname I've heard on my name from others is Radish Reviews, and I hate that.
Okay, yeah, okay.
I'm back.
I think when I was little, I sometimes got called Robin Hood, but that has not happened in years, so I don't really care.
Welcome back, Thai guy. We were just talking about nicknames that some people used to call me Radish Reviews.
I heard. I was there for that.
Insult.
I get so many. I get so many. I get so many terrible puns because I have objectively one of the worst YouTube channel names ever. I get so many hilarious puns based off of my name though, because it's so stupid. And also Ty being my actual name, you can work Ty into so many things so easily. Because
It's a tie.
Ty, the reviewer guy.
Because on account of it being 2 letters, but that rhyme with a lot. But
What does the T mean?
the T stands for Ty. I messed up while making my name and I never changed it back. The tie was not supposed to be there. The T was supposed to stand for tie.
Well, at least you did. At least you didn't translate your name wrong from Dutch to English. You used the wrong translation. So
Did that happen
to me?
So your channel name is.
Is that not how you spell Robin?
Ty Toy Reviews Ty.
It's like with fun fact with my name, I actually what I originally wanted to do was more like Robin Tales Hunter. But at the time, I didn't know the Dutch word for hunter also had another meaning because I was a lot of into World War II planes.
Oh, okay.
Those were called fighters in English, but the Dutch word for fighter planes is basically the same as the Dutch word for hunter. So I called it fighter instead of hunter. So I would have been Robin Tales Hunter. Now I'm Robin Tales.
I think Robin Tales Fighter sounds cooler though, but
yeah, it works. It works. It's just a name, and I don't think I've ever gotten anyone ask me why are you called Robin Tales Fighter.
I've gotten someone ask me what the T stands for. In fact, it happened just about a minute ago.
Several times. I remember with an older stream, somebody asked the same thing, or at least you got on the same subject, and you also explained it. So I already knew why.
No, people have asked me before.
Plus, the toy part is also not really accurate. It's
It isn't.
cars only, but not all
I
toys.
was gonna. I've considered changing my channel name to like Thai Cars, and I think that sounds so much nicer. But I don't want to change it because I feel like that then abandons.
It's too iconic now.
You know, and the thing with me is like I'm too like self-aware and self-deprecating to change my name to something I think sounds good. I think it's just funny that I have this awful clunky name, and nobody calls me that. Everyone just calls me Ty, so I don't care.
I'm glad
I would have changed it if I had. I would have changed it to Robin Tales Hunter, but I also didn't because and now it's basically sort of just my brand. It's not really a brand, but you get what I mean.
Exactly. I think I'm too far gone. It's too late for me to change it. You know, it's too late for me to change my channel name. I think.
Yeah.
It's a good thing that I didn't stick with Cartendo for a while.
Well, some people do it while they still have hundreds of thousands of subscribers, such as Benz.
Oh yeah, Benz, who.
Yeah, well, that's a whole different story. Let's just keep it at
Benz was the one that used to be the Cars and Thomas and Friends fan channel, right? Which is a very long name. Then
their older videos, like, those were, like, kind of iconic old cars, with the older cars videos, but...
I love those.
Yeah, those were cool.
There are some channels...
Nowadays, it's kinda meh.
A lot of channels that do, like, content for kids change their name 30 million times. Every once in a while you find a YouTube channel that's completely indecisive with themselves. There was this channel I used to watch about 2 years ago, who did just sort of like music compilations. The channel was called Younger Days, and I would watch them on account of me having no knowledge of modern music, and I just see like they put together compilations of like, oh, what song was popular this year, etc., etc. A lot of the music I like now blame on Younger Days. And they would revamp their, like, all of their thumbnails every 2 months. And they could not decide on anything to save their life. And yesterday, I'm just scrolling through YouTube and a video from them gets recommended to me for the first time in about 2 years. And the channel is now called Younger Days, in parentheses, the old one. So they changed their channel now, too.
Oh...
If I had a nickel for every time Blue Collection changed his channel name, I'd be a millionaire.
If I had a nickel for
I
every...
know there was also, this was a bit different, but back in 2018 when I was just getting into the Cars community, I was more like in the super baddie corner of the Cars community.
Oh.
This one guy who kept changing his name every once in a while, and every time he changed his name, he deleted every single video on his channel.
Yikes.
I don't know why. He also always came with like, I have these plans and this, and I want to continue that. And meanwhile, then every time he changed his name, and he deleted all of his videos. And I don't know what the point of that was, because you could clearly still tell it was him from his voice and all that. And I believe he no longer exists, or at least doesn't do car stuff anymore. I don't know. I haven't seen his channel in years.
Yeah, there was one channel, and I'm not gonna name names because I don't want to name names. There was this one channel who was subscribed to me for a little while and just would change his name just all the time. And I think a good few people in the Cars community are aware of him as one of the less savory members. So, I'm not,
I don't think I know who you're talking about
Yeah,
right now, but I'm sure if you said who it was, then I would know who you were talking about. Probably.
Yeah, they never had a problem like with me. Like we never had conflict, which is why I probably never mentioned them. But you probably know him if you saw him. There was one Piston Cup racer, one sponsor they really liked, and then they changed their name to reflect the next gen of said sponsor when said next gen released. I don't know if they're around anymore, but at one point they surpassed me in subscribers by several thousand, so good on them. But like they were making like this super Betty style of content, the type of content that a lot of us in the Cars community look down on as being like you're just ranting or like making 4-second videos showing one image.
I think I know who you.
No disrespect to anybody who does content like that. If that's your niche, if that's what you make, go for it. If that's what you're doing, that's fine. I gotta go. Hold on. My dad just came home, so as a precaution.
I saw someone on Discord say that they missed the days of the super baddie videos, and I was like, that was the dumb things of the Cars community. Why do you miss it?
I don't know. It depends on who you ask. Let's not get too controversial here.
Sorry if there's.
I don't miss those videos either.
Sorry if there's background noise now.
All of the videos from back in 2018, 2019 that was kind of similar to those on my channel. I didn't have many, but I had a few. I've deleted all of those.
Bro, the Diddy videos.
They're not my content. It's not my content.
Yeah, I get it. The Diddy
just
videos were so annoying.
There were ones on Diddy, you're right. So I just turned, I got a dehumidifier, it's like a noise machine. I turned that on because my dad just came home from work. So just in case he wants to make some sort of noise, this will allow him to do that. So if you hear background noise, that's why. Cars Ignite asks, what's the deal with the McQueen in the thumbnail? Here it is. I bought this because my last one got wrecked when I did my extreme color changing video, and then I repainted it and actually sent it to Robin. So I was gonna open this on stream, but I'm gonna not do that. So sorry.
Yeah, the one that you
the videos are so cool.
The one that you sent me is currently in the on the road circus box alongside the other Thai Tails Fighter McQueen custom.
You could see said custom in the background of Robin's review.
For specifically those diecasts.
Okay. You can see it in the background of Robin's review he posted to my channel this week.
Probably it's the only time it actually showed up because I didn't go through with the
haul.
Video.
Yeah.
So that whole video, it turned out terrible, and in the end, I think that much of my excitement I would have had when taking it out of the box got taken away by the fact that I constantly had to focus on the camera, etc. So
yeah,
watching videos aren't really my thing because they just takes away from the feeling of unboxing.
I've been debating because I don't know what to do when I don't know what to do when you send me a package. I don't know if I should do that on a live stream or as just a normal video. I would do it on a stream, but I'd rather do it as a normal video. I'd like to do it on a stream because then you get other people's reactions compared to on my just doing it on a video. It's not as much.
What I was thinking about, if you decide to do it on a stream, maybe you could just have me in the voice call there as well.
Exactly.
I remember you said you put a letter in it, but putting letters in it is not really my thing. So I think like if you did it in a stream and I was in the voice call, then that would work better.
I put a letter in it because I knew we weren't going to be able to talk about it. I put a letter in it because my mom was like, you should add a letter. And I was like, you know what, I'll add a letter.
And it was a really good one. I'm saving that.
Thank you. I almost majored in writing in school and then chose not to. Let me check the chat.
I know we're past the Diddy discussion, but there was this one line.
Hold on, can I explain? Can I explain?
XRS Drag Racers.
Can I explain what
It
Diddy
was
is real
just
quick?
So absurd, it stuck with me.
Because Diddy was this app, I assume it's still around, where you could just type things and it would come out as like a song by like an auto.
No, not Diddy.
Yeah.
No,
Okay,
no.
I'm just explaining it because
What was it called then?
it was called Diddy. I believe. I'm just explaining it for people watching the stream who might not know what it is. And a lot of cars channels, or a lot of channels run by younger kids, would do videos using that. I don't know why. I guess it was easy and fun, and you don't have to use your actual voice. But please continue. I just wanted to get that out of the way. For anyone who might not be familiar with it, I just wanted to establish what it was so that people knew.
Yeah, Diddy, I'm like, okay, I'll just say, I think the no for me says enough what I think about it.
Exactly.
Yeah, but the line, I can't even say it here. I can't say it one word.
Can you?
There's one word.
Can you just type it in and just DM it to me through Discord so I could at least know what it was?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna try to describe it without really giving it.
No, just type it.
But I'll send you.
Yeah, just
I'm
describe it. Just describe it. What kind of was.
Well,
Mine
say the line and bleep out the word. Say the line and bleep out what you can't say. Remember, this is a song. This is a song someone used on a musical app to talk about toy cars. Remember?
Yeah, it was about the XR's Drag Racers, and then Super Baddie had a line where.
Was it Super
These
Baddie?
diecasts are Bleep's favorite diecasts. I'm gonna send you who it was.
Oh, okay. All right.
Oh, come
That's such a weak insult.
That's not even.
It's a weak insult, and it's claiming something that is most likely not true.
Most likely, we're not a.
I don't know said guy if he indeed thinks that, but it's like saying something about it insults both the person and the toy, which is just double stupid and annoying.
You need to get to the part where it's about toy cars, and that's how dumb it was.
He got so outraged at toy cars.
Like that's sort of my MO.
A very bad political figure.
Yeah, and the unfortunate thing is it caught on to so many people to the point where people were hating on Ryan inside Laney because Mattel decided to put him in a couple multi-packs.
He wasn't a lot of
multi-packs.
multi-packs.
With Lightning Bolt, who is now a pretty rare car.
And that was so dumb. And that's like the sort of thing I've always strived for on my channel. And I think a lot of like my MO as a cars channel for a long time has just been like, you know, do good, you know, do good on the internet, which is very hard to do because it's the internet, right? And that's always been one of my main goals. And I think a lot of it is shaped by when I was starting out, the cars community was in that place where most people who were making cars content were doing stuff like that. And there were stupid high amounts of hate for these toy cars. And I think a lot of that shaped how I act today, where when I'm very nonchalant, and my go-to is always, well, they're just toy cars. It's as simple as that, you know? Like I do errors and inconsistencies, but the whole point of that is I'm not ranting, I'm not yelling like, look at this, like, no, there are ones that genuinely bother me as a collector, but like, at the end of the day, that series exists,
You're mostly laughing about how dumb the idea
exactly.
is.
It exists, you know, I do errors and inconsistencies the way I do so that I can, you know, I can inform people, I can address, and in a way, yeah, I could definitely sort of vent. There have been times in errors and inconsistencies where you can tell something annoys me, like Ramon Green. But now we have Ramon Green as sort of a running joke a lot of people will mention on the channel, but like that, you know, that's sort of how it is for me. And I think it's a much better way to deal with something, because it's not an issue, they're just toy cars, you know. So we may as well laugh about it.
Yeah. Why so
Good thing
pressed
it's
at
a good
toy
thing that just
cars?
is a big YouTuber then, because that gives a good influence on the people. kind of like a counterpoint to what Super Baddie was doing, because he was also big and had
Exactly.
a lot of influence.
That's why the official title is. That's why they call them influencers, right? You're influencing people, and a lot of what you say can sort of shift people's opinions. As a reviewer, we all have, as YouTubers, the chance to sort of, you know, I hate using the phrase influencer, but that's what you're doing. You're influencing people, and as reviewers of products, we can sort of shape people's opinions by what we say. Because you hear someone give a really negative review, then a lot of other people will go like, "Oh, I don't like this now."
Yeah. But if you do it in your way, like bring it in a funny way, that maybe people, even though it's maybe not a great, really, maybe a bad diecast, people might still want to buy it just because you made it some kind of joke out of it, some funny joke out of it.
I'm just doing good business for Mattel, is what I'm doing. I'm giving them free.
The background
All
noise.
these are
The
doing
dog
for
is
reviewing,
barking
I
like
guess.
this.
I'm
I'm
just.
so. The dog is bothering us all day, every day. I'm sorry for the inconvenience.
But
Pretty much what everybody does who makes cars, aren't they all just advertising? Because I think a lot of the cars I ended up buying is partly because I saw other people using it in their videos. So basically, we're all doing advertising in the end.
Exactly. And it's like, I've considered reaching out to like eBay sellers to try to get like a sponsorship with my channel and them. All I'm doing all day, every day is free promotion. Whenever I buy something online, I always make sure I say like the name of the seller. All I'm doing is free promotion, so I may as well benefit. If I'm doing free promotion, I may as well benefit them more and then maybe get something in return.
Yeah, but you're not.
Exactly, but I'm saying like I've considered reaching out to eBay sellers to try to do some sort of sponsorship, some sort of promo code or something. Cars Ignites here, welcome. We were just talking about how I'm selling out. I'm not selling out.
Yeah, I can't wait for
My only
Tito
problem
to
with-
time merch.
One thing my problem with promotions, like I feel it's too annoying for me.
Exactly.
Talk about and this is sponsored by. I hate that part.
But the thing is, like, I wouldn't do it like that.
This video is sponsored by Ranked Shadow Legends.
Yeah, exactly. I hate.
No, that's not my goal. That's why I wanted to reach out to like cars eBay sellers and sort of be like in a haul video, or like if they send me an item for free, mention it and be like, yeah, there's a code in the description if you want to buy this too. The thing with the YouTube sponsorship from an actual company like Raid will give you a script to say, and they give you strict rules. And I think if it's just me with like, here, I've partnered with an eBay seller, I could just be like, yeah, well, this was sent to me by such and such. We've got a promo code running. Have it be more of sort of a camaraderie, because it's not a business partnership. It would be me and another guy who runs a store. Something like that.
Anyway, hello.
Welcome, Cars
Sorry.
Ignited is here now. That's all right. I'm not sure. We're gonna go for about a half hour more, I believe. So we got you here for the.
I don't need it for plenty of time. Yeah.
We've been
Hooray.
we've been here. I don't know how long it's been. It has been a little over 2 hours at this point. So we'll see.
Been stuck in this prison here for years.
It's been 84 years.
I know Ty's answer. He said Ty said he had really enjoyed the Cars randomness I did.
I thought it was fun. Thank you for being the first person to make our conversation about the videos that were posted to my channel this week.
My review but
We did mention it. Shout out Rashid's Weird Products, okay? I think it's one of the funniest episodes of Weird Products. It was unfair. When I watched that, and then I watched Marina, who unfortunately couldn't join us today, but when I watched Marina's Have You Heard Of and Rashid's Weird Products, I was like, this is unfair. They're doing the series better than I am.
And for me too, huh?
I haven't actually been able to watch those videos yet. I just haven't had the time.
Check them out. They're very good. The Kmart one is really good, and it was so interesting because it was a topic I didn't know about. It was a topic I was not familiar with, which I think is very cool. And I'll go in a few minutes. I have a new Have You Heard Of I'm working on, and I want you guys to know. I want to know your opinions on it. But Cars Ignite, say what you were gonna say. Sorry, I thought your Cars randomness was very fun. You messaged me saying it's the longest Cars randomness, And I was like, oh, okay. And you sent it to me, and it's 17 minutes. And I was thinking, like, oh, well, aren't they mine usually 15? No, mine are usually 8. And I, for whatever reason, misremembered them being 10 minutes longer. So, mad respect to you for making the longest Cars randomness.
So I know. Robin said he hasn't seen it, but Ratchet, have you seen it yet?
Yes, I think it's pretty good.
There were some segments where I was like, okay, like there were some where I think you could have formatted the jokes a little better, but
Yeah.
but like I at one point was going to do sort of heavier editing in that regard. I said that I was going to try to cut down a few to try to make some of the jokes flow a little better, but I wanted to leave it as was. And I said, like, I know no matter what, people are going to enjoy this because everyone loves the good Cars randomness. And you had some segments in there that genuinely made me laugh out loud. And it's honestly, I think it's hard for me to laugh out loud while I'm watching something. And you genuinely did.
DVD is far larger than me.
The Disney DVD, the fast play.
That got me.
Like, if I were to do another best of, I did a best of Cars randomness a few years ago. That one would have to make the cut. That caught me.
Okay, don't too far to spoilers, or else you're gonna ruin my fun when I watch it.
I will not. That caught me so off guard. Robin, I will warn you now. He made a little Fillmore sketch, which made me laugh out loud, and I'm still mad because it's Little Fillmore.
okay.
Actually, about
So
that.
it's a better level than the mini races everywhere part of your list.
I don't think it's better than the mini racers everywhere. I think that's the peak of my channel, and I don't think I'll ever be as funny as I was in that. But
Wait, what were you saying? Wait, what were you gonna say, Ratchet, about the randomness?
Well, about the whole length thing, I had a lot more playsets planned for the episode, but I just felt that for some I was kind of just rambling on, and that it was like 20 minutes long originally.
Can
When
you
I
send
started
them?
some of the playsets? I didn't want it to be the longest. I want it to be just the usual regular length for a weird product.
Well,
I didn't
Ignite
want it
got
to be the longest.
Ignite got
I
an
just
advantage
stretched some of the presets
because
that weren't as interesting or weird, and you can hear some parts of the video I retroactively re-recorded.
yeah, you could hear that.
So I sound different.
Well, Cars Ignite also had the privilege of his just conveniently being number 15. So his being longer than average does kind of work because it makes it a bit more special.
Mine was episode, I think, 20 of.
But I don't number weird products, and thus it's not as special. but
But still, on the playlist, I think it's the 20th.
I think it would be the 30th. I believe there's over 20. The 20th one, I believe, was weird knockoffs. So it being 30th makes sense.
Oh no, yeah, actually.
There was actually one more segment that I recorded, but I forgot to implement in there.
What was it gonna be?
I have this one tiny pullback Sally that unfortunately lost its mouth. So Mater would be talking to that Sally, and she'd be muffled. She's like,
That's good.
What's that?
I like that.
Oh, that would have been a really good one.
Some of the,
Yeah.
because some of the
Save that for the next one.
some of your wordplay, I really enjoy. Like, you went deep with some of your wordplay. Some puns you did with like character names or logos and stuff. I really appreciated. But this, Rashid, make sure you send me what playsets you were gonna feature, because I really want to do a part 2. Because he requested in the comments of the Mac Weird products, he said like, hey, you should do weird playsets. So when I approached him for guest host week and said like, hey, I want you to do weird products, he was like, can I do weird playsets? And yeah, that's a great idea. I definitely want to do a follow-up. But this week, this is going to sound so corny, but this really made me appreciate the series that I do and made me realize just how much you could sort of do with them. I want to do Have You Heard Of and the Story of a lot more. I just haven't because of the iceberg videos. And I for years was afraid that I'd run out of ideas for weird products, but you really can't. I have like 5 or 6 weird products episodes that I want to make currently. I want to do a follow-up to weird playsets. The next episode is probably going to be a sequel to either weird board games or weird puzzles. And then I was gonna...
Oh, sorry.
No, you could go. Sorry.
Go first.
Uh,
I did want to ask 2 more things. Ty, if you want to, since you're most likely could, since you're like, I honestly think your older car's rim, your newest car's rim, it wasn't as good as the other. It was good, but I think honestly, if you want to, we could collab, and we could do half and half for the next few cars randomnesses.
I wouldn't do them. I'll let you know for a future one. I'm not gonna do it for multiple, but maybe at some point in the future. The thing with the most recent cars randomness is, I came out of it thinking like that might be my best one. I thought personally, but like there's I think you could tell in a sense there's a little bit of a lack of passion in it.
Yeah, well, but kind of what I always did with my Cars Random videos, similar to Cars Randomness, was instead of doing it like one video recorded at the time, I actually did it like
Space it out.
If I came up with something, I just randomly recorded it at maybe in the middle of recording another video. I just recorded something and basically compiled that later on.
Exactly. That's definitely an easier way to do it. But yeah, I've got 6 weird products planned currently. So, and another weird knockoffs. So
I was gonna say one more thing.
Yeah, go for it.
Go first.
No, you go first because it'll take me a minute.
I just want to ask you guys about one more segment. What did you think about the Mini Racers 15 pack?
Well, I'm taking my earbuds out, so just for like a few seconds. So.
Okay.
All right.
No, I like that. I considered making that one the thumbnail. I wish you had gone a little longer on that. But like the sad thing is how true it is. Because the whole joke was it was a variety 15 pack and you just put like random duplicates in there. And the sad thing is like it's like one of those things that's funny because it's accurate.
Wait, what do you mean it's accurate?
It's like it feels like something Mattel could potentially do.
It's just a variety pack of Blood McQueen variants.
No, it was.
You
I
had-
didn't even have any McQueen variants. It was just tons of Cars 3 McQueens, tons of Jacksons.
I saw more than one Dinoco Cruise in there.
And Buck Bearingly and Mater.
Well, what I meant.
People would buy it just to get that Buck Bearingly.
Mattel could do, and they probably would.
Yeah, so the weird products I have, why didn't Phantom Thomas 31 upload Cars in a Nutshell? That is coming out today. Yeah, I wasn't able to do videos every day of the week. I was sick most of this week, and I could not for the life of me get the collection video. I couldn't screen record it. I got it to work, obviously. I just had to get it up on Saturday, so I was also kind of busy on Friday. So, Phantom Thomas 31's Cars in a Nutshell will be up today. It was always planned to be the last one. I think if you thought the other videos were good, his is really, really funny. You're not ready. But...
Wait,
So, the weird products I want to do... For a few months, I've had plans on doing a new weird playsets and weird puzzles. Still doing that. But I want to do a sequel to the weird playsets. That will be hosted by me, obviously. And then I eventually have to break into the King and Chick Hicks.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll be able to do a whole video of Chick Hicks. I think I could squeeze a whole video out of the King. What I was going to do was I was going to do the King, and then if I could find like products for other Dinoco characters. But then while doing that, I started thinking, and I think I'm going to do a separate episode for Dinoco McQueen products, because there are so many Dinoco McQueen items out there.
There are absurdly a lot of Dinoco products.
are you good in the board games part 2? Are you gonna include the Cars Uno?
I did it was in the first part, I think.
Yeah, you did.
I know
It was? Oh my gosh!
I
Maybe you didn't expect me to have that Uno game.
but I don't know what to put in board games part 2. I've just kind of had it written down to something I want to do, but quite frankly, I don't know what would go in
You
it.
could do the. Have you done the tractor tipping board game?
I have not. Welcome to Piston 11. He's here now.
Just made it.
Hey, it's the little. Hey, it's the man from the little turkey.
Okay, everybody, raise your hand to speak. No, We got about 20 minutes left on the stream, I think. So thank you for joining us. There are now 5 of us actively. That's a little scary. That's a lot of people. I don't think I know 5 people.
I just want to say one thing.
Yes.
I actually have another video planned actually for your channel. I'm not going to say what it is exactly, but it was something that I would have wanted to do for this week, but it would take too much time to make on such a short notice. But I've got another video for your channel planned.
Let me know what it is, because I will be. It's my channel, so I need to know. No.
I'll tell you later on. But at first, I've got other projects to work on before I could even get to it.
Guys, go check out Robin's new stop motion. It's pretty cool.
And I've been wanting to say this. I just held it off, kinda. One of the scrap playsets that I was gonna talk about actually appeared in the intro, and I said some of them are very weird. It was like the Tokyo spin-out playset.
I own that.
That was planned.
I have that.
The editing.
I own that. I was like, oh my god, I have that one.
Is that the one with the ninjas?
No, that's the one.
No,
It's
the Cars 2 one where they had weird rectangular
It's
boxes.
the one used for wacky wipeouts in Colors Adventures.
yeah. I rebuilt it for that.
Oh.
I don't know if you remember that season. Thank you, Cars Ignite, for remembering that. You're probably the only one. I was going to use that as an example, but I don't know if anyone remembers that.
Yeah, now that you say it, I remember it. Yeah, okay, yeah.
What time will Cars in a Nutshell be out?
I can't believe that happened.
Well, here's the thing with Wacky Wipeouts, and I'm not going on a Cars Adventures tangent, because everyone here knows that when you start talking about Cars Adventures, you do it until you die. It's a curse. But the thing with Wacky Wipeouts is, and it's so stupid, is the first episode of Lap 2, and Robin or the Piston 11, you guys can correct me on this if I'm wrong, because I think you both know Cars Adventures better than me. It's the first episode's a tuner episode, and it pans out, and you see the one guy, Takeshi, I think, the guy with the samurai helmet. You see him watching the tuners, like dramatically on a ledge, watching them, and that was gonna be
like Mater having the helmet of that guy.
Yeah, he had his hat at one point. That was a different plot point, but like.
And he swapped the helmet for Tim Treadless,
I
believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tim Treadless.
Wait, what was his name? Wait, what was his name again?
Who? The car in white?
No, I'm talking about Big Tim.
Oh yeah, he was something like I don't even remember. What was it? Slump Flump Flump or something?
Yeah, something like that. It was something stupid like that. So anyway, Takeshi is watching them in like the first episode of Lap 2, Season 1. And for like a solid year, that sat around as an untouched plot point. And it was going to be something dramatic, I guess. But eventually I introduced him in the Christmas season, because at that point it had just been lingering for a year. So I had the plot be that he hosts a Wipeout show like we see in Cars 2. He's on like a Wipeout parody, and he forces the tuners to be in it. Maybe one day we'll see that again.
You told me that you actually planned to have him from the Wipeout show from the beginning.
Did I?
You had the plan for the show from the beginning, and it was like, I remember when I watched it, I came up with like crazy theories, like, what are they doing?
There was another season.
For the Wipeout show.
There's this one tuner season that I've wanted to do for the past 2 years, and it almost became the tuner plot of Lap 2 Season 1 instead of the Prop Loss Junction stuff. And this plot is that Kayandi goes to court for like the numerous crimes we joke about her committing, and the tuners have to defend her.
Gosh, I'll rip your ankles off.
I think that would work better.
Now you are legally required to make that a season.
I don't know. I don't know if I'd make it I don't know if I'd make it a season. I was thinking by the time I got to Lap 3, it might work better as its own episode. I've told Robin about this because the plot for Lap 3 Season 2 I have fully ironed out, and the tuners are very much involved in it, more so than they have been this season.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
It's a little awkward.
I'm guessing next season we'll have just 2 plots, or will we be going 3 plots
It's gonna have 2. The thing with the 3 plots is I'm not gonna keep 3 plots in every season. I sort of experimented here with the Cruz and Jackson plot, and I think in ways it works, but in another way, you have 3 plots, which means you're not really touching up on them all that often, if that makes sense.
Yeah, you basically only have 8 episodes for each plot.
No, it's not even that, because there are more Radiator Springs episodes. I did the math. I made it so that the Radiator Springs plot, because that's the main plot, gets about half the season. It gets around 10 or 11 episodes total. I don't remember the full math, but I have it written down somewhere. The Tuner plot, I think, gets 6 episodes, 6 or 7, and the Cruz and Jackson plot gets about 5. So you know, and there are these 3 sort of smaller stories, because I couldn't get the election plot to run for a whole season. The 3 plots I have cannot run for a full season. Maybe the Tuner plot could, but the original concept wasn't to have the Tuner plot as it is now, with like the fundraiser to save Prop Lost Junction. That came in later, and you could see that in the season, because I actually switch who appears in the outro. It was going to be different at first. So the Cruz and Jackson thing I thought would be fun, and you even had Shannon Spokes to narrate it, but Shannon Spokes is going to be used in the future for Piston Cup episodes. And whenever I do a Piston Cup episode, instead of Mel or Chucky, it's going to be Shannon Spokes.
Ooh.
Yeah, I gotta say, I think the Salt Flats as part of the season is probably my I wouldn't say least favorite.
I think it's the
but
weakest.
The part that I'm least interested in.
I think it is.
Or well, as you would say, the weak part of the season.
I think it is the weakest. I think it is. But there aren't that many ways I can make it interesting. Each episode just sort of focuses. Tomorrow's episode is all about is a Salt Flats episode again, but it's a little different. And you'll see why. But it's different. But each episode sort of focuses on a different character. I'm excited for season 2 of Lap 3. I don't know when we'll start it. Probably not that long after Lap 3 season 1.
I'm excited for it too, because you already kind of told me most of the things you're gonna do it, and I'm also really looking forward to it.
I ironically barely remember the Radiator Springs.
Where are the lemons?
Where are the lemons?
When life through the lemons wonder where they are in Cars Adventure.
Exactly.
The last time we saw them was with Flo's storyline back at the end of 2021, the Christmas season. She comes across the lemons, and for some reason they don't recognize her, despite them having faced us several times.
I don't have plans. I genuinely.
Is he dealing with Jerome and his dating stories?
Exactly. The next time I show the lemons, I promise you, I will give more Jerome Ramp dating stories, and that's why they haven't done anything. They've just been listening to him.
You also mentioned that they actually mentioned Professor Z.
Exactly.
So you could also maybe throw in that they've just been searching for Professor Z this whole time,
as
well as the other lemon leaders who are currently.
That's the interesting thing with Cars Adventure.
Professor Z is working on the dinosaur from Cars on the Road.
That's fun.
But it's like a huge robot or something.
I like that. I like the concept of having Professor Z be like.
Halloween season where the dinosaur terrorizes Radiator Springs or something.
I think it'd be fun to have it be.
Professor Z in the dinosaur's mouth.
Yeah, he pilots it from there. It's like a mech suit.
Yeah.
I love the concept of Professor Z being like a mad scientist, which is what I've sort of used him as in Cars Adventures. And the thing with him is, I showed him with the lemons in the first season, but I've never used him again since. Deliberately.
Well, you did use him in the zombie season, but that was not.
That wasn't canon.
Like a written story, so it counts. But it used him there.
I didn't use Professor Z deliberately because I thought one day, years down the road, I want one character that I have not touched on. One like notable character in the Cars series who I haven't used in Cars Adventures, and that is still Professor Z. And at this point, we're building up.
You kind of did that for 2 characters, actually.
Who was the other one?
Chick.
Well, Chick was in it in the early days, but now he's out of it because of the Redline stuff.
What about Sterling?
Sterling is in jail. Sterling was also used in the early days.
Well, last time we saw him, he wasn't in jail. He got thrown off a cliff by Fabulous U.
Retcon, he's in jail again. Don't ask. That's
not a retcon. Okay, he's in jail again, but still, that happens.
Yeah.
Just don't ask with Cars Adventures. It's gonna be a confusing mess.
Yeah. Well, it's a confusing mess. It's a fun, confusing mess because you actually get to figure all of it out.
So much of
And you're never done figuring out what everything is.
so much of lap 2 was me cleaning up mistakes from lap 1. And there's one big thing left over from lap 1 that I have, 2 big things that I haven't really touched on, and we'll get to those very soon.
What are they?
The first is Tim Treadless, who we already talked about here. The first is where Tim is, and the second is the Demolition Derby cars, which I made the stupid decision of having them work with, like, the criminals. The Demolition Derby cars are going to be allowed out of jail at some point soon.
You use them as criminals in every, like, video that had, like, criminals.
I know Tailgate is wrong.
Yeah, where is Tailgate? Tailgate's doing alright.
Tailgate!
Tailgate is fine.
Also, but the thing is with the Demolition Derby cars, the reason why you brought them in with the whole Evil Next Gen organization was because I believe you said that in the intro for one of the episodes, you said that you were going to bring back some villains from the very first season, because in the very first season, a bunch of the Demolition Derby cars worked with the Lemons.
Exactly. I kind of
use them as, like, criminals in, like, every police chase in Cars Adventures, like, literally.
Yeah, in the early season, you used them a lot for, like, individual criminals.
Yeah.
Aside from Sigurd, also for some reason you use Sigurd as Sheriff's Police rival instead of APB.
APB. I don't think I didn't have APB yet.
And you had the APB because you got APB with the T-Bone pack.
Oh man, you're right, man. Well, the Demolition Derby cars now are very much, they're just people living their lives in a Demolition Derby.
Oh my god, humans exist in the cars world.
I made them criminals for the sheer fact that a lot of them look super rough and sketchy. But, I don't know. So those, I think, are the 2 big hanging plot points. I'm sure there are other ones out there.
Of course, Rex Reveler.
What about Rex Reveler?
Gaskets, the racetrack treat.
Gasket.
Anyways, another are we ever going to see the? What's up with Cruz's track talk? Is it still going or what?
Oh yeah. Did I address that when she came back into the Piston Cup? It probably is, just as a weekly show.
I don't actually remember. I need to rewatch that part.
I don't remember you addressing that.
I don't think I did. Well, I can say it's probably... I don't know if I'll focus on it at some point soon. But I like to think she probably still does it. And if not, she probably has another host that she puts on instead.
Also, it's kind of weird to think that we haven't had a falling cars joke in a long time, in quite a while.
Yeah, well, the thing is, with the running jokes, you can't do them too frequently. I don't want to run it into the ground. But I think the most recent cars falling thing was in a 25 Days of Suggestions. It was with Creepy Santa getting knocked over.
Yeah, but as for Cars Adventures, I believe the last time you did in Cars Adventures was the Beat Red Meeker episode.
Yeah, so there are...
Wait. One of the recent episodes, the one where Jackson and Cruz, like the first Jackson and Cruz episode, there's actually another one of the, like, I believe Smokey's lonely joke or something.
There is.
Smokey himself makes it the joke.
There was a Smokey's only. I think that's the only running joke to be in lap 3 so far. There was a Darn American Roads, but it wasn't made by the bus.
Well,
wait, what?
I believe
because the Cal's lonely joke was also made by Smokey and not by Cal. So
I believe the Mini Cooper, I forget their name, Becky Whelan, appears early on in the season and is at
the charity race episode.
And I believe she says, I don't know where I'm going because of these Darn American Roads or something like that. There hasn't been that. There hasn't been a Vitaline delivery. A few running...
It's of course jokes in every single episode. You just put them in when they've naturally fit into the plot.
It's been years since a gas gets the track time treat, but one of these days I promise I will bring it back because that jingle goes hard. I'm sorry, I love it.
Yeah. Before when this race started, this race is sponsored by Gas gets the track time treat.
We'll get it in somewhere. So the other, there are some other running jokes in this season, I think. Several of the 15 cars that Valerie pays off to be in Radiator Springs are sort of running gag characters. Like Steve Urkel is there, who's sort of a gag character, except when he's like important to the series. The blue van from Cars 4 is
And
sort
what
of...
about Tommy Joe?
Oh yeah, Tommy Joe's a new running joke, you're right. There are
You talk about Tommy. When you say Tommy, you talk about like he's made it. The jokes happen like has happened once, but it's about to happen the second time in the bonus episode.
Actually, in Lap 2 Season 15, there are 3 episodes in a row with jokes about Tommy Joe. So I think he's a running joke.
Let me guess, it's when they're under the Rust Bucket Stadium hiding spot.
Yeah, there are several jokes about Tommy Joe. So that's kind of the thing is, you know, we've created a lot of new running gags in Cars Adventures as of late. Probably my favorite is the Grammar Police. I love the Grammar Police joke.
Where's he been?
The grammar police.
We need more Grammar Police. We need more Grammar Police.
I miss Grammar Police. I completely forgot about him, and I was.
Gosh, that is spectacular. This is not going.
Awesome-tacular.
Well. I don't know, but I think honestly, Steve Urkel or someone or one of the new cars should make a grammar error and then grammar Police.
Yeah,
It's actually you.
Steve Urkel has to be the one because Steve is like the best one to have like with the. I want to see a face I'm between Steve and the Grammar Police.
Yeah, the thing with Steve is I don't really like using Steve Urkel that much because I feel like the problem with Steve is everybody loves him, including me, but I don't want to put him in every single season multiple times a season. He's not supposed to be a main character. And I do think him being with those 15 cars is a little awkward, but it'll pay off in a few episodes.
It was so in last season the season before the season 15, the lore we got to know about Steve Urkel was interesting.
Yeah, and I like that. I originally made Steve with no backstory. It's like, oh, he just teleports because the original joke was people thought he was a vampire. But what I love is that, like, eventually Steve became too important, and I came up with that backstory, and I thought it was a really clever backstory for Steve. And Steve is just, I don't know, he's a great character. I would say he's good in small doses, but he's good in big doses too. I've had so many seasons where he's had a significant role, and I think Steve now is easily, you know, the character in Cars Adventures that's the least significant in the Cars movies. And I'd love to get some other characters in Cars Adventures that are super insignificant in the movies, and I get to give them sort of a personality, which is what I've been trying to do with some of the...
Which is what you're doing with Colin.
Colin, yeah, exactly, Colin.
Colin too.
I want to get to... When can we get more Greebles lore? There is no Greebles lore.
Like,
We need to learn about Ripple's diabolical plan.
Oh, hell no, please, no.
When will I... When will I...
I mean, the think of
We live in a society.
Parodies.
What did you say? Sorry.
The Piston Cup security.
Yeah.
Singing Beatles parodies.
Oh my God! Piston Cup Security.
Oh, they were in Piston Up Security are in this season too. They're Mater Security. You'll see them, I think, in a few episodes.
But are they?
Okay.
Have they
I
sung yet?
want to see it or not.
I don't know. I ran out of Beatles songs.
What I want to...
Then why don't you do? Why don't you do other songs like Lady Gaga or Taylor Swift, since there are other ongoing jokes on your channel?
The problem.
It's a total random idea I came up with for the end of the season. What if like Valerie loses the election and she does something stupid and she's like has to be dragged out by the security guards and they're just gonna like sing so much that she's like the security guards are gonna get her out by singing and making her be so annoyed that she just
And then
runs away.
the security guards make a grammar mistake, and the grammar police comes back and arrests the security guard.
We need a showdown between Grammar Police and Piston Up Security.
The Joker showdown at the end with Steve Urkel as well and all the other.
Greebles
Oh my
possible.
gosh! I would say
With the wrong cover of Cal is Lonely playing in the background.
The Night Court, Callous Lonely will play. Personally, the reason why I don't do other songs is because the joke was it was a Beatles cover band specifically, and I think that's one of the funniest parts of it. But no, one of these days I'll make it in time. Robin knows this because I run a lot of my ideas by Robin first. But a few years ago, I wanted to do a season where each episode was about a different background character. It's sort of like, I know there's one Simpsons episode that the steamed hams meme comes from. That's from an episode I've seen like one episode of The Simpsons ever. But like what I'm getting at is that episode gives you a bunch of short stories about a ton of the show's background characters. And I wanted to do a Cars Adventure season a few years back where instead of an overarching story, each episode is a story about one background character from Cars Adventures. The only one I ever came up with was like, what if we give Topper Deckington a whole episode? And I think that would be really fun, sort of thing.
What about the day in the life of the grammar police?
Exactly. I had this idea before I created the grammar police joke, so.
You need to make Meeker Beast again.
I will. Reb Meeker will return. He needs to. Cars Adventures has too many like good, funny side characters. But I want to do more with.
Wait, but is this show even going to come back, or is he going to have to do something different?
We'll have to see. But the Piston 11's idea of having him be like a Mr. Beast parody is still it's solid. Having him like run a YouTube channel instead is really funny.
I remember the Carman reference. I'm pretty sure.
We're getting so.
Carman. We can go. Is a Carman stand?
We're getting so many. We're getting so many new characters because of On the Road, and the thing that benefits me in making Cars Adventures is that so few background characters in On the Road spoke. So I have very few characters who I could work with their personality. So I get to take all these background characters, and it's so cool, and it's really fun for me. I get to take all these background characters and give them full personalities and put them in Cars Adventures. And the other good thing about On the Road is that every background character, you can fit them basically anywhere. You know, we're introducing the Salt Flats cars here, but like, as soon as we get more background characters, you'll see more of them, and some of them will become like running joke characters. I like being able. Yeah, obviously I have a set. I have a set of background characters I use for Cars Adventures. A lot of the Thomasville extras or the Rusty cars, etc., are just used interchangeably. You know, and I do that because you need background characters in a series. But, like, I'm excited because the thing with the On the Road background characters is so many of them are too specific. You know, they're specific, but not very specific. Like the Salt Flats cars. Or the clowns or whatever. So compared to, like, the Radiator Springs visitors, which except for Colin, I typically make just be background characters. I think there's a lot of fun to be had with On the Road because the characters are all very much situational to what's going on, but you could still work them into the series as unique characters that aren't just background characters.
Once Ivy, Kelly, Claire, and May are out, do you think you'll do maybe a Circus Velocitus themed side plot maybe eventually?
Probably not, because Greebles is going to be part of a crime troupe as a joke. But that's just.
Can Claire and Kelly join that crime troupe?
I was.
Ivy. We need Ivy to just constantly change her career like every other week.
I think that'd be really funny, but like Ivy is. I don't know what I would do with Ivy in Cars Adventures. The one thing I wanted.
You wanted to have Ivy against
the muffler. That was my one idea.
That was your plan with her.
Have Ivy get in a monster truck race against the Monster Mutt Poodle character and a few others. But I'll do like an episode where Ivy comes to Radiator Springs somehow. You know, now that we are getting her diecast, she won't be a significant character because it's Ivy. Like I don't know, but maybe I'll rope her in somehow. Cars on the Road basically allowed for me to make more jokes in Cars Adventures. That's kind of it.
Well, I put 20 cars in a racing garage, and last leaf wins $1 million.
Oh, no.
I put 10. I cured 100 blind cars.
Yes, I did a video once where, like, based on Mr. Beast, a series with things where people can beat the aircraft carrier.
I've never actually watched Mr. Beast, but like I know enough where I can make a full parody, and I like the concept of Reb Meeker.
I watched him. I'm the Mr. Beast guy. I could give you some things to draw from.
But the thing with as much as I love the Meeker Beast and even the name works, my one problem is Reb Meeker has his gimmick for doing Beat Reb Meeker, so I think I might want to introduce a different character to do the Mr. Beast parody instead. I don't know. I don't know who it would be.
Maybe some of the maybe you could do that once like more underrated characters get released. You could do it with one of those.
Yeah, exactly. Like, what do I do with Doug Crankle in Cars Adventures? You're not gonna see him ever, unless they go to like Comic Con.
Probably come up with something fun for him.
What if he's like a struggling actor? We'll use this version because he has a regular smile. He's like a struggling actor who keeps trying to get movie roles, but he has the brain prosthetic and somebody like accidentally glued it to him and he can't take it off now. So every movie role he does is just that. So he's doing like Titanic, but this is stuck on his head.
Oh.
Oh,
If you
yeah.
make like a Mr. Beast parody, you should like use some of the Cars 3 stock cars since they haven't.
Yeah.
Cars Adventures.
A lot of people have told me to do more with them. Remember the one joke I had about Rev Rotages getting stuck in a ditch? I think the Mr. Beast parody.
Mention that.
I think the Mr. Beast parody.
Carl Clutchin.
I think I might make the Mr. Beast parody have something to do with that. Like 10 racers got stuck in a ditch, and whoever gets out first wins $10,000.
Oh no, that would be awesome.
I put 10,000 points at the racetrack. Last to leave gets I don't know.
I don't know if I'll put it in Cars Adventures.
Mr. Beast should be like Jimmy
What's
Cable
the link?
because
It's
his
okay.
name
Is
is
the
like Jimmy.
times apply
Oh, Jimmy,
to
yeah.
to cola
We could
or
do Jimmy.
transfer juice.
Jimmy Cables is good. Jimmy, I think I might very well use Jimmy Cables because Mr. Beast is
Oh
named
my
Jimmy.
gosh, that worked because Mr. Beast's real name is Jimmy.
But you know how he sold like the chocolate bars? He should partner with Gaskets and sell the track type treats.
Oh, that is so good. That is so good.
Mr. Radiator. Or I don't know.
I'll come.
It
We'll
can't
come
be
up with
Mr.
it.
Beast.
Mr.
What
Brakes.
is the equivalent of an animal in the Cars world?
Mr. Brakes.
Yeah, Mr. Freaks.
Mr. Brake. We'll do Mr. Brakes.
Tractor.
Mr. Tractor.
Mr. Tractor with tire mouth.
Mr.
Wait, where's Moo? Wait, what happened? Wait, what's going on? I'm curious. Where's Mooey?
Movie The Racing Tractor is living a life of luxury.
Unfortunately,
Like Bill Red
Wait,
said.
where'd you say time? Sorry. They talk over me.
No, it's all good.
I have a theory.
Yes.
Tractors'
Where's Mooey?
lifespans aren't very long, so unfortunately, Mooey passed away in his rookie season.
Movie is a girl, number one. Number two.
Oh dear. What's number two?
Number two, Mooey is living a life of luxury after coming in third place in the last race of the Piston Cup season.
Let me get
Oh, I forgot he got in third place.
I don't know if I said that. I think I just made that up now. But that's exactly like that's canon.
Okay.
So are we gonna see in fast race?
Well, Mooey is the clutch aid tractor.
Oh. Oh, right.
I think we'll see Noah
Where
because,
Noah
there's a lot
Noah,
of things you could
I
do.
don't know where Noah Gokek is, but I think we'll have an entire arc. We will have an arc where the real Mr. Beast, be quiet, man. There needs to be an arc where Mooey, the racing tractor, has to get fired and replaced by Noah Gokek. And Mooey goes on like a whole like training montage.
You also told me other plans with Mooey. I'm just not going to say them here, but I remember you had some other plans with Mooey, which is also something that I think could work really well if you decide to use it. I'm not sure if you
I
plan to or not.
believe that was the plot for next season. Will heavily involve Mooey. You
Oh,
will.
Yeah, I remember.
And she has a terrible patch.
The Mooey is to this day one of the best Cars Adventures characters, and anyone who says otherwise is wrong. Thank you. Unfortunately,
Who says otherwise should unsubscribe from this channel right now?
exactly.
Anyway,
I know,
I'm thinking for
Like-
you should make a joke where he's coming in last place because fast means not fast apparently.
Well, the guy, he's just named after a guy named Michael Fong. I don't think the M means anything. It's just his first initial.
Just
I did the joke
M stands for M.
I did a joke in the last Cars Randomness where the Big Fans, we see his birth certificate and his legal name is Big Fan. I need to do that with M Fast Fong. It just says M. Your full first name is M. It's M Toy Reviews Fong.
No, not M Toy Reviews.
M Fast Reviews Fong. That's... See, M Fast Fong and I have the same sort of deal with our names, so it's all good.
But
Oh my god,
like,
you should have a in Cars Randomness. You should have a joke where there's something that there's something to do with the two Bobbies from the racetrack.
I don't have Bobby
Kevins.
I don't have Bobby Rotesta, but I would otherwise.
You have the Disney Store one.
This Bobby
How
Rotesta
is
is far
that
larger
not-
than me.
We're not.
you
We're
can
not.
like make Steve bring someone to like the universe of the Disney Store cars.
Yeah.
And then it's Bobby Rotesta and Urban Ivor.
Please.
Okay, we
do
need
not
that.
pull-
Wait a minute. Wait, hold on.
You
Everybody,
need to make it again that's sponsored by a company called Urban Ivor.
how did I not put together the fact that I own the Carbon Cyber Racer as the next gen? Sorry, not as the next gen. I own the Carbon Cyber Racer as a Disney Store car, and I've never made an Urban Ivor joke with that and Cars Randomness.
Okay, just real quick, I would say I have to go now. So
All right.
It was fun being here.
Thank you,
We'll see
Robin.
next time.
I am actually wrapping this up in like 2 minutes, actually, so good timing.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go now. So I'll see you guys, hear you guys later. Okay?
All
See
right.
you, Robin.
With that,
See ya.
Now.
with that note, I do think I do have to end this in a few minutes. So thank you everybody for joining me. That was Robin. Thank you Cars Ignite 95 and the Piston 11 and Rashid Reviews, and to the other people who did videos for guest host week who could not make it here today, Fana Thomas 31, NCAP Cars, and also of course Aquamarina. So thank you, all 7 of you. The final video for guest host week, which is Fana Thomas 31's Cars in a Nutshell, will be coming out tonight. It's pretty good. It's a pretty good video. So make sure you check it out when it's up.
So you're saying it's gonna be funnier than my Cars Randomness?
It's-
Is it?
It's pretty funny. I'm not ranking things out here, but it's pretty funny.
But like my YouTube poops are better, right?
Oh my gosh!
We haven't-
I love your YouTube poops.
We need to-
Remember the.
I'm very happy that you are making another one. Check out the Piston 11s, Tito Reviews Type YTPs. They are beautiful, and I will make sure I react to the next one on a stream or in a video. I'm
Not
gonna.
as good as
And
YTP.
also, expect. Also, well, you saw me collab with Ty this month on his channel. Well, expect Ty to be on my channel for a certain project. I'm not going to say much yet.
I am voicing a character for something Cars Ignite is working on. So, there we go. That's Cars Ignite's self promotion. The Piston 11 got self promotion in there. Rashid, would you like to end with? Would you like to plug yourself too?
Yeah, I'm
It's
working on a YouTube tube, yeah. And yeah.
Check out the Piston 11.
The track time treat.
Thank you. What
Check
a.
out my channel, which I haven't uploaded a video since a month ago.
The
Yikes.
question is, how's your big project going?
Oh, not his big project.
I need a lot of cars, a lot of the main characters.
Gee, I wonder what it is.
I wonder what it is.
I wonder what it is.
It's almost like I'm totally not announcing it on April's Fools.
That's a really bad day to announce something.
Yeah, I mean,
What do you mean? April Fools is like the best day to announce things.
No one will believe you.
Yes, they
which
will.
I do when I'm doing an April Fool's joke on my YouTube channel. I'm not gonna say what it is, but it's not the return of Ross the Bird again.
Now people
I think
know.
After 2 times Ross the Bird is gonna not. I don't think Ross the Bird needs to come back a third time. Can
Well,
we agree?
unfortunately,
Aviator.
I have a tendency to do a certain type of video on April Fool's Day, and the one this year may or may not be 30 minutes long.
I like
Mark your calendars, guys. We're about to watch
Right.
a full-on special on April Fool's.
I have.
I dare you, Ty. For one of your April Fool's jokes, I dare you to try to survive in a tub of Chex Mix for an hour.
I don't have Chex Mix anymore, unfortunately.
Oh no!
Also,
My-
are you gonna make the Chex Mix date with the Chex Mix a running joke eventually? I mean, make that come back or no?
No, probably not. But yeah, no, you will. You don't worry. You will in fact see. Will you finally rank all the Piston Cup racers this time? No.
I want to see that. I was gonna watch that video. I was interested in watching the video, and then I was like, no, it's Taylor Swift songs.
It's
What am I
Taylor.
gonna do?
It was Taylor Swift.
That's honestly better than ranking Piston Cup racers. They're all just background characters anyway. Why does it matter?
Why do that when you could rank Speak Now? Yeah, no, there will be a new Crash Adventures for April Fool's Day, and then my other.
Crash Adventures.
That's what I was hinting at.
Adventure. Yeah.
It is very long. It is gonna be like a half hour, and then my other April Fool's Day upload. It's gonna be called that.
At least not as long as my At least as long as my season 3 finale for my series.
But my other upload for April Fool's is just a normal video, so sorry to disappoint. But you will be getting a very long Crash. The other upload is just a normal one, so yeah.
Lightning.
My favorite series.
What was Lightning's name? I remember Mater Raider Terminator.
Lightning is just. I think Lightning is still just Lightning.
Terminator.
Lightning is.
Ty, no joke.
What did you say, Ty?
My Roblox nickname is Mater Raider Terminator.
What did you say, Ty? Is Lightning's name?
It was the same. I don't think he had a different name. But the one problem is, this is the last thing I'll say, then I'm gonna end the stream. Angry Storm Jackson is dead.
Angry Storm Jackson.
So I don't know who they will fight this time. I think they might fight.
Revolt.
Torque Rod Line
Are they gonna fight the mad scientist? Oh wait, he doesn't get much screen time in the series. Never mind.
Well, I don't know. The options are they're either gonna fight the Melons or they're gonna fight Red Torque Rod Line.
Wait.
Torque Rod Line Broad.
Are the melons the lemons?
Better
Are
include
the lemons?
Ursel in there.
Luckily, the lemons are actually the good guys team.
No, are the lemons the melons? The melons the lemons, Ty?
I don't know. You'll have to see. Stay tuned. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching this stupidly long live stream. Thank you to everybody for joining us.
The Aviator.
He needs to come back.
And when's Ultimate Mainline happening, Ty?
I don't know. We'll get back to
And
that.
when's Lightning McQueen in the new car, Ty?
And Festin 11, you need to ask me when something I haven't made is coming. Everyone needs to ask.
Ooh, that honestly, it'd be kind of funny if you adapted the Lightning McQueen in the new car into a Cars Adventures plot.
I was gonna do it as a subscriber
Gear up
special.
for drift mode.
Okay, thank you all so much for watching. When is Weird Puzzles 2 happening? It's probably the next episode. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Outro.
Popsicles.
Everybody, can we get a synchronized bye now? Can we annoy everyone?
Okay, yeah, let's do it.
All right,
Let's do it.
I'm gonna count down,
Flag.
and we're all gonna say bye now, and you're all gonna lag. 3, 2, 1, bye now.
Bye now.
Bye now.